Yeah, I need the water. I can't go without it. It'd be terrible. You want to be sleepy and insufferable? Me too, Mako. Don't worry. I'm gonna be a pest. Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Professor Jimble's Dice Bag Podcast. Wait a minute, that's not right. To Professor Jimble's plays Pillars of Eternity. Boy! So, last night, I went to bed early, and early for me, so like 11:30. Very early indeed. And then, this morning, my phone was like, hey, you hit your sleep goal. Congratulations. I'm like, fuck you, I feel like death. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the day. And I was like, should I cancel my plans to go in and work from the office today? I know the whole team's gonna be there, it would be really nice to see them. And then I didn't sleep in any further. I went into the office and I had a pretty good day. But, oh boy, everyone's sleepy. Emma's sleepy, my colleagues are all sleepy. One of them is so sleepy he did not go to work today, which I highly approve of. That's an excellent, very good, beautiful self-care decision. Too sleepy to go to work? Great! Don't go to work. Have a day off. Have a day where you're allowed to be sick. Or rest. Or just any other day where you feel like you don't want to go in. Like, that's a thing. So I approve of that decision. But it is going around today. It is the sleepiest Monday. And I refute anyone saying that, maybe it's just the Monday, first day of the week sort of blues. No, this is an unnatural, supernatural sleepiness. And we should reject it as best we can. Continue trying to have a good time even though we are sleepy. You may also notice that my wrist is acting up, so I have this cool stylish copper bracelet that is not actually a copper bracelet, it's medical tape. Yeah, well, glad you're doing some stuff. If it's enjoyable stuff, it's worth it. That's what I say. In Final Fantasy news, Final Fantasy XIV that is, I finished every class quest up to level 40 or so. It's not every Disciple of the Hand class quest. I'd already done all of Disciple of Land. And that's enjoyable. Except, I now have opinions on which class quests are better. And Holaxy, you've been sending me like pictures about how you're going, and it's pretty nice. Ooh, okay. I had some gamer thoughts. And I am a streamer, so I'm allowed to deliver my gamer thoughts onto a waiting and willing and highly enjoyable audience. And that means, yes, everyone in the VODs, and shout out to our friends in the VODs, you also get to hear me have gamer thoughts. No, Mako, not those kind of gamer thoughts. That's pretty good, though. No. I have been playing for months now, since like the August shutdown, maybe a couple of weeks before the August shutdown. I've reinstalled one of my favorite mobile app games. It is called Magikarp Jump. And the whole premise is that you are a Pokemon trainer and you focus solely on training your Magikarp to jump as high as possible. And it's got a satisfying and simple loop. You feed your fish in the inside aquarium takeoff. Your fish gets larger, you take him to a tournament, you drop the fish. When they can no longer level up, you retire the fish and get a new fish. You level up as well. I'm real close to the end of it. It's been months, and it's not like I'm playing it non-stop, obviously. I'm playing these games, you can see them. But I'm really close to the end of the game, the end of the content. As in, soon I will be the champion of the fish jumping league, and no one will be able to defeat me. I will have the highest jumping fish possible. I don't think there's a soft or hard cap. But there's a progression cap, and at that point, I'm going to lose all interest. And I found myself downloading and installing another different mobile app game to use to kill time. Because I'm getting close to the end of this fish thing. And I think about it, I keep thinking, oh, it's okay, soon I'll have a reward for finishing this Magic Cup jump game. I would have got through all of the plot. I will have jumped my fish as high as they can go. And then I can say I completed a thing, and then I can move on to something else, something more enjoyable. I'm like, wait, Jimbles, why? What are you doing? Why are you seeing this idle game, very light, no challenge, look at these pretty fish? That's something you need to beat, something you need to defeat. And when you win, you can move on to the next thing and see if that's enjoyable. And scary. Interesting. Why was I enjoying the fish jumping game enough? And when did it peter off to the point where I looked for escapism from my idle game to another idle game? Why was I seeing this new idle game is so much more refreshing and interesting? Because it has music. Like, oh my god, music! Wow, that's different. It's Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Because it kept coming up on TV tropes pages when I'm reading about Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. Like, this character does this in this system, and I thought, oh, I should give that a try, maybe. It's not good. It doesn't look amazing either. But it sounds a lot better than jumping fish. Right now. Why am I still jumping fish? Why do I still desperately want to finish this Magic Cup jump game? Do I have to? And should I? I don't know. You gotta think about it. Because I feel like a lot of these games, a lot of mobile games, this is where their bad rap comes from. Now, this feeling by no means is exclusive to mobile games at all, but I get it the most. Like, soon I'll be done. Soon I can finish this. Soon I'll be done with this thing that's on my phone. And it's weird that this is what they're like. And I don't know what a good mobile game should look like. Something you can pick up and play and enjoy. Oh, extremely pay real money. Now, I don't do that at all. Oh, gotcha. Also terrible. No, I don't do that. I'm afraid. I think there are more efficient ways to pay artists and programmers for money, for doing things and setting up gambling. I don't like gambling either. I don't like digital gambling. Record Keeper, Brave Exvius, and War of the Visions are all gacha shops. Do they have a good version? I know what I'm going to do. I know the solution here. I'm going to get War of the Lions. Because they have a PSP port for it. There is not a pixel remaster for War of the Lions. That would run on my phone. Runs on my tablet. Yeah, see? Exactly. Or... no. I could, but no. Tactics is at least something you can be like, alright, I cannot deal with this question right now. Like this tactical decision, I'm putting it down. Chrono Trigger is not turn-based, is it not? At least not in the same way. It's got real-time movement. In a way that makes me think of Tales of. Is that correct? Chrono Trigger is like a Final Fantasy. I know, it comes up all the time on lists when people are like, list your favorite Final Fantasy. Chrono Trigger is like either honorable mention or hilariously number 2. Which is... oh, okay, cool. So it is not real-time movement. That's good. Maybe. But, like, I'm gonna ride this Final Fantasy trip I'm on. Hello, Captain. Meow wow. I'm gonna ride this Final Fantasy trip where we're on together. Like, we're playing Pillars here, it's a big serious game. And we're playing Final Fantasy on Wednesday nights. But not this Wednesday night, I'm taking a night off. Sorry, it's a very busy week and I actually want to rest. Much like I told my hypothetical colleague on stream. I mean, I told him in person too. Well, via the chat on person. And I'm like, yeah, rest and I'm going to take my own advice and rest on Wednesday as well. We'll continue with Final Fantasy III. I sincerely agree you should check out the VOD on YouTube or here on Twitch, because Final Fantasy III was a fun session. I mean, I believe Laxi was busy and like missed a lot of it. I am iOS, both tablet and phone. Laxi was busy on Wednesday night and like mostly paying attention, but not quite. And then rewatched the VOD, and apparently it was really hilarious. And I agree. It was a lot of fun to play, so it must have been even more fun to watch. Click live stream. Yeah, thanks, Loxy. Alright, now we'll see if it actually opens. Come to life. There you go. Look at that. Let's click the continue button. Well, let's go, right? Oh, Mako, there's no way I watch my own VODs. I don't want to hear myself talk. It was hard enough when I had to edit podcasts. And even then, I only edited like things that actually needed to be removed, or if anyone requested something change or go down. I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, I don't hate my own voice. I just, like, I like the way my voice sounds. It's just criticizing the things I say. Like, how interesting am I in this moment? Like, well, Jimbles, why did you talk about jumping fish for like 15 minutes at the beginning of Monday night stream? I was tired. I have a perfect excuse. Tired in the I am literally sleepy and I don't know why, compared to the I am just depressed and making excuses. I gotta think about that one all the time. Like, catch myself. Are you tired? Or are you exhausted? Burnt out by something? So last episode, we stole a baby. Jeez, you're slow, buddy. I did restart my computer before we started playing tonight. See? A baby. We stole... Yeah, okay, so last episode we actually had a quest that was like, steal the baby, take it to the Ethic Knoll, sacrifice the baby, right? Yeah, sacrifice the baby. And then we were like, okay, no, we're not going to sacrifice the baby, that's fucked up. What we're going to do is go, Jimbles remembered that if you get the quest, accept the quest, and then like talk to the baby, or no, you get the quest, you accept the quest, and learn that there is a baby in a hut. You get an ending slide that's like, you didn't go investigate the baby, and the baby died. And so I was like, well, we got to pick up the baby, at least in somewhat. And we tried to talk to a dude who'd be like, I'll look after the baby. But we couldn't say, okay, look after the baby. He was just like, alright, I'll kill you. And so we steal the baby. Which is fine. It could be worse, is all I'm saying. We need to talk to Duretz. Need to go there. Not doing that. Help Palutena broker a trade agreement between Amerfarth and Twin Elms. We do need to do that, and that's something we can do right now, actually. I go into an inn. We're going to pick up Palutena. We're going to put her in our party. We're going to help foster a trade agreement.
How do you do?
No, I'm not helping you yet. Yeah, Adair will carry the baby. And it is also a tiny Orlan child as well. So I think Adair carrying around a small Orlan child might help. I'm not saying it's the only way, and in fact he'd need to do more personal work, but it might help defeat part of his ridiculous racism.
Good day to you.
What we're going to do is actually just change part of it.
May Wal watch your step.
We'll be back here, OVS. We did more of your quest. We'll talk to you soon. We need Duretz for a little bit. Like, a minute.
If you say so.
Oh, we need Palutena. The game's like, these people need to level up several hundred times. No, I don't think we're going to trade the baby like that. Don't worry. We're not going to use Duretz, so I'm actually just going to choose random things for his levels. Mostly random. I'm just not going to pay a lot of attention. Spell Mastery. Yeah, man, take that. Endurance and Freeze. Love it. Yeah, you're lawful. Lawful. Lol. Painful Interdiction. Makes enemies weakened. Yeah, that's a good one. Do that. I need Duretz for a little bit, if you say so. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the appropriate response, I'd say. Do we have to? Sometimes, yes. Not always, but sometimes you straight up do need Duretz. Also, don't want you to miss out on his... No, we don't want either of those. They're not very good. Passive for extra accuracy with a sword and arquebus? No, I don't think so. And again, the lesser blessed of Summer Flame is good. Let's do that. It's the... I'm going to make my really cool buffing and healing thing into a damage thing on enemies. I'm like, no. You're going to min-max for our benefit, Duretz. Yeah, there you go. Now, when they down an enemy. Super encounter as a mode. There you go. Palgina can now bonk her allies to remove their... to remove any, like, mind-affecting effect on them. That's pretty useful. Nope. No need to get additional burn damage. Instead, let's say... there. Massive buffs. Massive passive buffs. There you go. No, let's take Healing Chain. Playing a Paladin is particularly useful. It's pretty interesting. There are a few... Hendo, good to see you tonight.
I'm ready.
We had a bit of a ramble at the beginning, but otherwise we're essentially just confirming that we stole a baby. And talking briefly to Duretz.
What?
I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your knuckles on the wrong door.
Ah, fair enough. Tell me about Magrin. Stare too long into the fire and you might blind yourself, Watcher. He chuckles. That and touching yourself might do the same. Who are her enemies?
Before, when you asked about allies, well now, ally, enemy, that's a skin's edge of difference in history's eye. But there were enemies. Were.
The mirth leaves his face and he sneers. Aethys. Turins gives a cold grin, nods. But we sorted that out. Then Hylea and her queen's crown of feathers and birds, he sneers. Perhaps she claims to see the world from her perch. I hope she saw what happened to Aethys, and if she dares to walk upon an earth where such fire runs. Her temples are things of windows and twittering music. If a bird falls, know that it's a victory. Seeing another set of darting eyes from that feathered bitch die is a pleasure to me. Jesus, dude. You bear a lot of her rage. She and her clergy offer shelter to the Aethosian since his death, his humiliation. She's next for me. I wanted to ask you something else about Magrin. God, you're swelling up with questions. One would think you were with child, or burning up inside. What is your view on Magrin? Keep troubling me and I may extend the tithe bowl for each question. Enough questions for now. Let the road keep us until the next campfire. Turins.
What?
Do the thing.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your...
Till the next time we need rest.
Hello.
Come on. Do the thing. I'm trying to do a very specific thing so that we can get the last bit of Durence's quest so that I don't have him on my mind.
If doubts and curiosity play...
Magrin.
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come. And with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Nope. All right.
I suspect.
Maybe here. Okay. Do you think there's any tie between the Hollowborn and the Godhammer? Yeah. Luxie, he was heading on Hylea, the singing goddess of air and birds. Exactly, Hendo. Do you think there's any tie between the Hollowborn and the Godhammer?
Aethys was the god of rebirth, and his light does not fall on the deer wood. I've heard some claim it's his doing, his death. It's closed the halls to new souls. I doubt it. The Hollowborn have their roots in the acts of men, women. I feel it.
More about the region and history. I wanted to ask you about the region and its history. Can you tell me about the Hollowborn?
That's a curse that runs deeper. It's a godhammer of a different sort. And like the godhammer, it was made by men's hands.
All things have a price. Left unchecked, faithlessness, virtues, it leaves marks on souls, until souls don't have the strength to enter bodies that are pure. Animenses, ciphers, all who play games with the fabric of souls that are blamed for the barren field they leave behind. Turins glares at you. Even watchers can do the same. Some simply watch, others try to weave souls, guide them as surely as Widewind across Avendur. He turns away. That is why I correct the Hollowborn when I find them, and the ones whose hands have led to the seed being spilled on the ground. Correct the Hollowborn?
There are fewer souls. There are more vessels. It is simply equaling of the process.
That's murder.
I feel more remorse in putting down a slathering hound. A wict? Less than a mongrel in its misery. Murder is a kindness, not a crime. Always has been. I would sooner put the blade to those who are to blame instead. If any spirit should be punished, it's theirs.
And who's to blame? The fields of the Deerwood are filled with a weakness, ripe for those that play with souls, minds. His face wrinkles in a frown. Animancers and their kind, watchers too, they bear more of the burden than their victims, and more of the punishment. Each year has seen a new crime, the Saints' War, the Hollowborn, and the Salvation. There's no proof watchers are to blame for these events. There are few who can shape a soul in such a fashion. Duretz stares at you, and any watcher, any true watcher born in the Deerwood, would be able to see the crime even if they did not cause it. Silence itself is damning. Why don't you end me then?
Murder you? I would not grant you any of them. The mercy I grant the Hollowborn. You would not be deserving of it.
Duretz laughs coldly. You'd equate murder with mercy.
Murder is an old word. Mercy is letting a soul fly free to the next body. True punishment? Ruining someone to their soul. Crack their spirit like you would crack their skulls with a staff. Beat them. Hurt them in mind and body. So their souls become shards. But you leave it inside the vessel. Like a bag of glass. To either choke on it. Or pass it through their bloody stool.
Hey there, comrade. Nice to see you tonight. And I am very impressed that my 5-year crit rhyme is spreading to other groups. I'm really glad the limerick has caught hold.
Then, leave it in the body to think on it. Like planting a new field with the right seed.
He makes a locking motion with a twist of his hand and grins, satisfied. It sounds like you've committed it to memory.
Many marks may I make upon your flesh, but flame leaves marks that cannot heal. Magrin doctrine dictates true punishment is one that remains in memory, in the soul, in the flesh. Even should the victims die, slowly or swift, sometimes by their own hand afterwards, the lesson lingers, burned in their flesh.
Duretz becomes somber, quoting. That seems harsh.
Have you seen a man branded by flame? He remembers it always, in every waking movement. It is a lesson writ in the only ink and vellum that matters, blood and flesh. One can burn the soul as well. It is an art, and I do not take pleasure in it. But there is more at stake here than forgiveness. Many of Aethys's faith were punished in the purges following the Saints' War. And the ones that harmed children, they suffered worse.
What do you mean?
We did what must be done. Wherever they were rooted out, their souls reclaimed. And if they couldn't be reclaimed, we ensured they would never inhabit another body.
Alright. Do you have whale's eyes painted on your skin? There's more mysteries and questions, and even marching force of answers won't placate you. Even soldiers need to let their thoughts settle, just as their priests do. Come on, Duretz, do the thing.
If doubts and curiosity...
No. Alright. Well...
Greetings.
Turns out we're not hitting the point we want.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Which is disappointing, but we do what we can.
Alright then.
Put him in a cupboard overnight. Yeah. So I didn't think that... I didn't think we need to... It seems the secret to Duretz's quest is talk to him often, a lot, let him rant about his shit, and then whenever he's like, oh, I'm tired of talking to you.
That maybe those dukes sent you here to screw things up?
It takes a paranoid mind to dream up a scenario where that makes any sense.
Hate to piss on your daisies, but them dukes will sell you out when it suits them.
My life is theirs. I don't question how it will end, so long as it ends in service to the Republics.
Talk to him and often, call him out on his bullshit, and like every time he... And every time, like, he's being a dick, you provide an opinion. You can agree with him, you can disagree. I don't know why you'd agree. You're such fucking crazy. We also met a normal priest of Magrin elsewhere, and she's just like, yeah, the struggle is hard, but it is worth it. And not nearly as crazy as...
What brings you here?
like, Duretz. And...
Wait. I don't know if I should go through with this. Make the trade deal with the Anamenfath.
Yeah, we should put Duretz in Zawa's fish barrel. I don't want to slam us with... And, like, every now and then he'll hit a point where he's like, okay, no, you got to do more of the main quest before I talk to you anymore. We're close to the... Like, coming close to the end of the main quest, so we could do it all now. I think it's a bit rough to put all of you through Duretz after Duretz after Duretz. Right? We will talk to him again, but maybe in like an hour or two, okay? I don't think we can do the fish barrel plan. But... Spoilers, not massive ones, but small spoilers. Duretz's quest does not end with him being correct or right at all. Right? Hello, Summer. And so it is worth seeing that ending. Especially if we're so annoyed with all the things he's putting us through. And his aggressive... Yeah. And there is significant trauma. Quite a lot of trauma as well. I'm really glad Duretz isn't not in Pillars 2. In any way at all. Anyway, we've got Palagina's quest. A reminder, given it's been probably a month or more, she's here to set up a deal with the Adam Father. Palagina holds out her arm before you'd enter the hall.
If a Valian deal with the Glanfathens weakens the Deerwood, it could mean war for the Republics in the future.
Is she the cop paladin? Yes. but like less of a cop than say the Crucible Knights. Like being a paladin of the Valiant Republics means that you've got like even less agency than a cop. Yeah, she's pretty bad to be honest. But she actively tries to help people though, that's a plus. Anyway, yeah, votes. We got one vote for one. If Valiant deal with the Grandfathers weakens the Deerwood, it could mean war for the Republics in the future. 1. What other option do you have? And 2. You've had enough time to wrestle with your inner turmoil. I need to speak with Adam Farth and not wasting on your conscience. Understand? Don't be a dick is a pretty good move, I'd say. Luckily, this quest is very easy. 3 votes for 1, that's enough for me.
I could put the idea in the Anamanfath's head that the Republics are not interested in exclusive trade, but limited trade of goods that they do not already trade with the Deerwoodens.
That's pretty interesting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1. It's the right thing to do. The Deerwoodens are at the mercy of the Republics, and they don't even know it. Your actions today can prevent further scuffling. 2. Follow your heart, Palacina. You alone know what must be done. 3. If you do that, I doubt the Dukes will be forgiving. Consider your options carefully, Palacina. The ramifications for yourself and the nations could be great. And 4. That's a terrible idea, and the Dukes will surely eject you from the Brotherhood if you go through with it. Stop and think for a minute. There are a few options here. Palacina is kind of underwritten. Like, there is more of her that could be done. And it's a shame we're only working the information we have. That's 3 votes for 1. Let's do it. Sorry, comrade. It's the right thing to do. The Deerwoodens are at the mercy of the Republics, and they don't even know it. Your actions today can prevent further suffering. Did I say scuffling when I first read it? Oh boy. She nods her head resolutely. Alright. Let's negotiate a trade deal. Paths cross again, Galawain and Adams. One of my companions, representative of the Valen Republics, wishes to discuss a trade issue with you. Yolan turns her gaze towards Palacina. Yes, the Valiant godlike, blessed of Hylea. Palacina bristles and quickly spits out a response. So they say. The Adam Farth's face shows no outward emotion, but her voice betrays annoyance at Palacina's interruption. And diplomat of the Duke's Bell, I understand that you were to be sent here with trade assurances from your masters. Revered Adam Farth, it is true that I was chosen to convey these assurances, but I understand that I was fashioned more for war than etiquette. The Orlan smirks slightly. In these dangerous times, perhaps it is better to send warriors to do diplomats' work. Then they search for essentially a reincarnation of their soul to also lead the Anamanfath. Palacina musters a weak smile. Indeed, Anamanfath, regarding the exclusive trade agreement, her voice quavers slightly and her golden eyes dart in your direction. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the granny has been alright. Certainly the least crazy Anamanfath we've met so far. Remember that we've killed one of them, because he wanted to sacrifice a baby! Okay, so 1, nod head, smiling warmly. 2, shake head, eyes wide. Or 3, shrug. What even is an Anamanfath? A leader of a clan of Glenfarthans. It's not a hereditary position. They try to get souls that have previously led them before, but they will accept otherwise. One of the clans accepts people traveling who are like not from Glen. It's a power. They take turns in being charged of a group of clans. Essentially, it's a power structure, right? Which means it is inherently flawed and is not very well justified. It's just assumed that this is their way is natural and makes the most sense. Which is also funny because that's what the Deerwoodens say about theirs, monarchy, and what the Valen Republic say about their own, selective monarchy. Like Council of Monarchs. Every power structure is flawed. But vote-wise, we've got one for one and 1 for 1 or 3. So, are we going to suggest Pallegina do not set an exclusive trade agreement which would harm the dear Woodens? I do not know who the Dothal are. I mean, I've probably forgotten. Remember, I'm very tired tonight. Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, not to confirm what we said before, and, like, shake head. There's like, no, Pallegina, don't do it. Yeah, that's right. I will admit, I kind of, glazed over during that part of Stormblood. Should probably play it on New Game Plus if they come up again. When there's these sort of power struggles about this sort of thing, especially, like, the best part of Stormblood were the crafting quests for the Namazu. They were amazing. That's the best part of Stormblood. Anyway, I'm gonna hit 1 because we've had a couple of votes for 1. Pallegina steers herself. The Republics feel it would be in the best long-term interests of all parties if you maintained your traditional goods trades with the Deerwood. Ooh, no longer exclusive. The Animapath's long ears pitch forward. A strange turn. What do the Republics want, then? Pallegina speaks quickly, but confidently. Ta Ondra Tara pearls. Trade will be picking up quickly on them in the Eastern Reach. You'll buy them exclusively from us for the next 5 years. In exchange, will be your exclusive market for the Adraban and Karogolin for the same period. Karogolin is a drug. Drugs aren't inherently bad, but they are illegal in some places. The Animapath considers Pallegina's words for several long moments. An interesting proposition, Valian. We will send emissary staff to discuss the details at greater length. Your appearance here speaks well of your Duke's intentions. Pallegina bows deeply. Revered Animapath.
That's it. My position in the Brotherhood gone. I can't believe I just made up new trade terms to the Glanfath and Anamenfath. Postenago.
Pallegina's eyes are wide with panic. 1 and 2. Pallegina, you did the right thing for the Republics, even if the Dukes can't see it from their vantage. You can deal with their disapproval later. And 2. No sense crying about it now. It's over and done with. We need to find Theos. Which is rational and cruel. Yeah. And to finish the thought, while we get some votes in, I kind of glaze over when we're talking about who is in charge of power structures a lot of the time in video games. I don't care. I hate when they have such a massive impact on the on the game afterwards. Like, I'm thinking Dragon Age Origins. I'm like, I don't really, Alistair, I don't know if I want you to be king, because I don't think there should be a king. Because it's just going to be bad for everyone involved, but sure, whatever, you do it. And there was a lot of that in Stormblood, in that part of Stormblood, so I kind of glazed over on it, because I don't really mind who is supposed to be in charge of these particular tribes. I would like you to treat me like people and not a tool to get you in power things. Yeah. 1. Pallegina did the right thing for the Republics, even if the Dukes can't see it from their vantage.
Verus. They have a saying in Biagepe. New gold clears even the oldest debts. If I'm right, all will be forgiven. If not, there's nothing I can do about it now.
Quest complete. Pallegina's quest is talk to her twice, go here, go through a dialogue. That's all. And that sucks, right? There should be more. But no. She gets underwritten a little bit. A whistling in the reeds. In the Ishamatil Plains, Zochini Lake is renowned for the beautiful flowers that grow along its banks for several weeks every spring. Local farmers harvest the flowers for a spring festival in all of the nearby villages. In the past 3 years, 4 people have gone missing during the flower collections. No one has seen the abductions take place, but people in the area have reported hearing a high-pitched whistle from within the tall reeds. When the abductees are discovered days later on the shore of the lake, they appear to be happy and smiling, but unaware of the world around them. The blissful victims never recover from this state, most dying within a few weeks. The philosophers near the monastery at the Zochine Lake have advised local rulers to seek outside help with the problem. Gozawa. Pretty underwhelming, yeah. At least the ending slides provide some detail and updates about it, right? And Pallegina comes back in Pillars 2. And the choices here actually have an effect on that. And that's good, you know? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Steal any of these like little adventure hooks, and just use them in your game, in your tabletop RPG. Is there more to her in 2? Much more. Turns into one of the... Sadly, she doesn't turn into one of the more interesting companions because many of them are voiced and potentially slightly written by the Critical Role cast. But she's certainly a lot more interesting. And I felt like, I'd actually like to have her in a party to see what she says.
Never before have I met an Adiran man so hesitant to speak his mind.
I'm not hesitant. I just like to consider my words carefully.
You should really hear yourself talk,
Hey.
amigo.
Right. I believe that was one of the last ones. Herzong's Market. We'll go there. We'll go there at some point. We'll clear up those in a little bit of time. But honestly, let's continue doing side quests. When we go to Burial Isle, we'll take care of this. Excellent. Well, in the meantime, let's keep Pallegina with us for a little bit, huh? And, like, comrade, you're entirely right. She's going to be pissed as fuck. Wait, we're in Hearthsong. Where are the markers? There. The place marked. Hearthstone markets. We'll go there first before we go too far. Remember how it was like they built this additional area here without too much going on, but it adds vibrancy to the world? I'll actually pretend I did this on purpose and reiterate something quite interesting. I was like, it doesn't add much just to have things here, you know? But it fills in the world. It's also worth saying that once you've built a space like this, you can reuse the space and reuse the NPCs for other quests and other plot hooks that just appear out of nowhere. And that's, as Games for Wildwood says, is one of the greatest verbs for a GM to use in their role-playing games, their tabletop games, is just reuse. Like, grab something and go, yep, do it again. A child missing. How? I don't know. It's fine. Hard bargain. Alahi. Where are you? Right, we're talking to everyone.
Estramore?
Nope. It's a herbalist, right? Ewan. A young... there you go. A young girl looks about the market with a disinterested gaze. As you near, she snaps to attention and straightens her posture. Welcome, Mr. Moore, she says with a curtsy. Alahi's not here, so I'm running the shop while she's away. She glides her hands in front of the display cases of poultices and remedies. If you're looking for herbs, tinctures, oils, or ointments, I've got everything you'll ever need. I'm looking for Alahi. Where might I find her? She lives not far from here. The little girl points out the exit of the market. Climb up the stairs. At the top, there's a circle of ruins. Do you know it? It's on the north side of Herzog. Anyway, her house is right there. Her door faces the ruins. Thanks. Luxie, I'm absolutely certain they mean the one in the backpack. That must have been an amazing trick by game developers when it first came out. The random ambient NPC dialogue changing when as quest flags change. Amazing. What are the two then? Hear a dog balk in the background. Hopefully she's not finding something she needs to balk at too loudly. That's a lot of... He stands tall and proud, surrounded by Glenfarthern warriors that study your every move. I expected Renato to employ someone on his behalf. I'm surprised to see that it is you doing his bidding. She tilts her head to the side and blinks slowly. Does the presence of my armed entourage concern you? You're expecting a defenseless shopkeeper, am I right? He raises her dye-stained hand as one of her guards begins to lurch forward. Stillness! She barks at her attendant. Give the Estremor a chance to speak. We are not dear wooden beasts. Here, hospitality reigns. He nods to you, holding up an open hand, her palm and fingers covered in blue and green dye. Envoy of the Valiant, speak the message you were sent to deliver. So Renato is just like being an angry jerk. And he's like, I tried to get this thing from this herbalist and she cheated me. And now I want to have her killed. Or at least get all of my money back from her. Oh, I accidentally pressed 2. Good lord, I'm sorry, I'm very tired. But we did get 1 vote for 2, so we can count it as at least partially good. The first step of any sensible path, she muses, scratching her chin. Renato did purchase from me several bushes of Elad Gola, and for it he paid a high price. But he did so willingly, saying it was a bargain, right as he handed me his copper. It was after our trade that the Valiant spit his venom? Alahi's voice grows angry. Renato accused me of trickery, of fraud, claiming I delivered withered likenesses of Elad Gola and not the genuine root. Such nerve! For in truth he is beyond the help of Elad Gola. She holds a blue-dyed finger in the air before curling it down slowly, smiling as she does. Renato's old bow isn't firm enough for a full draw. No amount of Elad Gola will give him the spear of a young hunter. A fair deal was made. Now Renato objects, angry that his withered family plough is beyond herbal remedies. She shakes her head, her voice becoming a growl. I never sold anyone a remedy I knew to be false. If Renato does not silence his slanderous tongues, we will do it for him. Ho ho ho. Renato was also like, I was trying to get a large supply of herbs so I could travel and sell it. Dude, you don't need to feel ashamed about requiring assistance. It's a perfectly normal thing. Certainly blustering about it isn't going to help anyone. What kind of punishment do you have in mind for Renato? Renato has slandered his host, making him no longer a guest. The merchant must vanish from Twin Elms. She crosses her arms under the sleeves of her robe. But Glenfarthern hospitality must be observed always. He is to be given a chance to leave on his feet before he bleeds on his back. Deliver in our name a warning. Tell Renato that if he does not leave, he'll be accused of conspiring to pilfer Engwithan relics from our lands. He won't risk a trial by the Council of Anamfartha. Alahi draws a small wooden cage from the folds of her robe. If he won't listen, tell him that the faulty member will end in a cage, just like this black beetle. Food for our birds. Hey chat, what do you think? 1? No 2. We don't have a high enough positive reputation with Twin Elms. Perhaps won't too, given we, killed some people. I know, Luxie, what a shame. It's funny, I remember Trugs being like, does it show you what the message was? We're like, nope. If you don't have a high enough reputation, you can't choose it, game won't tell you. Well, it'll tell you that you're missing something, if you have that option. Yeah. Or 3, Law 10. Law 10. The reputation of your tribe is tied to your actions. Is that how you want future trading partners to remember your kin? Or 4. I'm here for Renato's money. Or 5. I've heard enough. Goodbye. Just like leave. I'm done. Bye. Thanks for telling me about some merchant's dick, but I'm dumb. Let me just piss off. Looks like we got a couple of votes for 3. Let's go ahead. Law 10. Oh, there we go. Reputation of your tribe is tied to your actions. Is that how you want future trading partners to remember your kin? Always use your stats. See, comrades got it. Exactly. The Glenfarthens look at each other, our faces alight with disagreement. A murmur of voices rises around the dwelling's hearth until Alahi, eyes shut tight, stomps on the ground with force. Enough! Stillness! She waits until the brethren's voices die down before opening her eyes. You speak with long-sighted judgment. Trade strengthens all of the tribes, and Renato's claim, false as it is, may spread to poison us. We will suffer the indignity of letting this lie a profit if it means safeguarding the peaceful, honourable accord of Twin Elms. Alahi pulls up one sleeve, revealing a leather bag hanging from her hand. The clinking of copper fills the room. Take this back to the Valian with the blessings of the Fisher Crane tribe. Alright, sure. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if we really want to give him the money, though. He was still a massive dick about it. I wonder if there's some sort of gorgeous, beautiful middle ground. Exactly, Luxie, right? What if we go tell him that he's an idiot, take half the money out, give half the money back to her, give the other half back to her. Give the other half back to Renato. Also, you've gained an item. Tiny beetle added to inventory. Because... Not that. There you are. Tiny beetle. I'm going to have a tiny beetle pet. There's that tiny beetle. It's hard to see. Hey, Renato.
Greetings.
It's sadly just not something we can do. My friend, welcome back. Have you recovered my coin? I've got your coin back. Diveris? Renato's eyes widen as his hands greedily snatch a purse. Belferto had almost given up hope. Renato counts the coins, smiling with each clink of the copper. My thanks to you, friend. With this I can finally restock my wares. Come find me at the Celestial Sapling. I'm sure I can find some choice items for more resourceful customers like yourself. Twin Elms. Well, shit. Yeah, so like, I thought we could say, and take it away from him. I think I've never successfully completed that law check before. That was most unexpected. I'm sorry to tease you all with the more satisfying conclusion. Oh well. Yeah, raw damage to enemies. Foe AoE. Cool, yeah. Boil their flesh from skin to bone. Mental Fortress. Yeah, that is a shame. I expected better there, and I'm kind of disappointed that that's all solution we got. Maybe you should take that if there's nothing else useful. Honestly, I think we'll find... Yeah, she's using stilettos, I remember that. I gave her 2 stilettos. The abomination. Yeah, but it's not an abomination. It sounds tasty. Well, that's that. Let's get out of here. Here, in this very district, Leia has died. Sorry. It's fine. We also got a minor negative with the town as well for giving the money away. It's far less than the negative you get if you kill her. Discovered. Old song. Ah, named NPC.
Hail, Estremor.
An old woman stares at the sky with an air of deep contemplation. She occasionally puffs from a wooden pipe, blowing smoke in perfect rings. What stands before me? She wipes her lip with the back of her hand. Her teeth, uneven and pointy, are stained red. I do not see Estremorn often. She picks the remains of an ochre root stuck in her gums. Believe me, I see many things. Perhaps you want to see them too, yes? She gestures behind her at an assortment of plant roots and files lying on the rug. Let me see what we have for trade. I present these happily. Again, nothing particularly interesting. More herbs. Herbs. Some of which you can just pick up. What was that? People tied to stakes? The stone is pitted with the marks of ancient chisels and furred with moss. Hylea Shrine. Solid iron bars block a dark passage. They don't budge, and there doesn't appear to be any mechanism for raising them from the outside. Casfaith. And Onwin. Two wood elves, a man and a woman, wear colourful robes embroidered with matching emblem, a winged egg. Apart from their clothing, they couldn't be more different. She folds her arms and continually scowls at the broken walls around them. He, on the other hand, mutters prayers, his shade-dappled face as tranquil as a cloudless sky.
Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, This is a disgrace.
The woman rounds on her companion.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the winged terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor.
What's this winged terror you speak of?
A dragon. One that has taken up residence in the Nest, the true temple of Hylea, and slain many of her faithful. And one which a new one has been in favor of killing from the beginning.
He winces on Wuan.
But no, you advised caution. Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumfoth's ransom for the job.
She throws her hands up to the heavens and shakes her head.
I told you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive.
He sighs.
Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Hylea's blessing.
He gives you a curious look. Let me ask you about someone else. Go ahead then. Language is also secret to our goddess. Something else you wish to speak of? Is this the Temple of Hylea?
A sharp tongue indeed. You hear this, Wag?
She rolls her sky blue eyes. She elbows a companion.
Relax, Anuin. I'm sure he meant nothing by it. Forgive my consort. She's been rather excitable of late. This is not, as you seem to recognize, our actual temple. It's merely a shrine we've set up after the business with the dragon.
Well, exactly, comrade. Like, it's offering you the quest here, but it's like, do you want to earn the favor of Hylea, this thing that you were here to do and composes the majority of Act 3? Do you want it from her? Yes? No? Yes? Go deal with the dragon. No? Alright, fuck off. Leave. He makes a placating gesture. He turns to you. He ignores a pointed look from Onwin. I'd like to know more about Hylea.
Why, she's the goddess of song, art, the sky, and maternity. She's gentle and brilliant, speaking to her followers in dreams, inspiration, and birdsong. It is said that she wears a cloak adorned with a feather from every bird known to kith or wilder, and that she manifests in the flocks themselves.
Casfat's face lights up.
Aye, and in the screams of childbearing, which I can assure you is not so beauteous a thing.
And this is true, which is why midwives are widely considered clergy of Hylea, as are many artists and poets. In any case, those of us who follow her feel closest to her splendor in a place where we might share light, song, and a view of the blessed sky.
Gasfeth nods slowly. Obviously, I like Hylea as a divinity. It's also interesting that Hylea so far as everything we've heard, is one of the divinities that is not a massive jerk, and many of the others absolutely are. Actually, I received a vision from Hylea. She bid me speak with you about the menace that settled over her temple.
A vision from the goddess herself?
Casfeth eyes
What a
you.
rare and fortunate blessing.
Casfeth looks at you with undisguised wonder. Hollowborn squints at you. Your vision did reveal that the menace is the dragon, yes? She steps back and gives you a long look. To be honest, I expected the Sky Mother would summon a whole flock of warriors to fight this monster. I fear so few will be like sparrows attacking an eagle. But if Hylea has tasked you, then who are we to doubt? Olwen is right, however, you must prepare yourself for a powerful and crafty foe. The nest, and the dragon, are perched atop a mountain beyond the Northweald. He points northward along the path. Follow this trail into the wilderness, and look for another path carved into the hills, into the cliffs. May the Sky Mother's blessing aid you. The nest above the clouds. Huh. Old songs pass. Ah, we're on Hylea's quest now? Exactly, Loxy. We go to Northfield, we go to the Temple of Hylea. What are we going to do before then? When we're going to Northfield, there are a couple of companions whose quests are sending us that way. Believe... Yeah, we need to take her. That's Sagani. This is another one we can do there. Not there. This is another one we'll do there. Yep. So I need to get Sagani. I should have thought about this before, but did not. Hylea being the least bad. Yes, exactly, comrade. Oh, Elm's Reach. Back to Hearthsong. Go up. Pick up Duretz. Talk to him. Rest. And then swap. Because I read a little more and I'm like, sometimes it's the third rest with Duretz in Act 3. And like, we will do this. If we were going a route where we didn't have to have Duretz with us, like if we weren't going to complete his quest, we wouldn't have talked to him all this time and suffered his horrible racism. And just general prickliness and misogyny. And look, Duretz is not a good character. Well, he's a well-written character, but he's still a pain to be around. Which would make it funnier if he was a mandatory character, because I get the feeling a lot of people are like, I don't want you in my party, and you kick him out. And then the themes, everything he adds to the game, which is by no means mandatory, gets missed, just because he's such a dick. You sell traps and Svev. God, you're terrible. Here, have some books. Aleph is already the smartest boy. Hylea is...
Well met, friend.
Already, like, is definitely still only into it for herself. Because all of the divinities are. Like,
If you say so.
it would be bad to have one as explicitly, like,
Cores.
this is a good person. The rest of them are bad. No, Duretz straight up is racist, and you miss it unless you talk to him as an Orlan. He's like, your race is not strong, so you do deserve to be enslaved. But not you personally. You're good as an Orlan. You're fine because you're strong as a Watcher. Like, he's a dick. Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to know everything either. It's just, I remember that because I've never played as an Orlan before, and I was like shocked at how annoying and awful that was just to have. Yeah, let's take that because the poor Snow Wolf dies a lot, actually. Okay. Hey, Duretz, do you have anything more to say? Questions?
Doubts and curiosity,
Region
please.
is history. Nope. Okay.
Hail and well met.
Good thing we've got so much money, huh? Anything new,
What?
Duretz?
If doubts and curiosity...
Okay, we can ask him more. Tell me about the Godhammer.
Gods have taken flesh. In all respects, taking willing and unwilling vessels. It's not a violation. It's what gods do, as long as they accept all that comes with it. Men are weak. Gods? Well, we showed old Widewen that he was flesh and blood, no matter how much light was pouring out of his farmer's hands.
Sorry, comrade.
Took men of faith to build a weapon. A god hammer. Judgment. Proved him dead at Halgot Citadel.
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, their independence. There were a few that would deny that Aethys overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aethys of this. A fire and force so terrifying, so bright it burned a god away. Duretz holds up his staff and his hands lock around it, tracing the etchings. As you watch, the top of the staff blossoms, burns brightly, and Duretz speaks, his face illuminated in the fire. A weapon that would burn brighter than Aethys, and we led him to it and burned him at the stake. The stake was the Godhammer, and we impaled him on it. He said you fashioned it? Duretz nods. Wasn't easy, shaping it, crafting it. The pieces, the curve of the relic. Even then it was a massive thing, something that required a god to come into it rather than be cast at him. Though luring him to it, that was the easy part. Gods are prideful. What happened? We led him to the fields, one that he remembered as a farmer perhaps. The fields right outside Halgot Citadel. Duretz frowns. Now, God have a citadel. It was right across the Avendur bridge, an easy trek. Duretz frowns. Men died. Then more died, luring Aethys onto Avendur. We had carved veins and paths through the bridge, excavated the foundations, filled them with powder and ember-hungry grains, eager to burn. Our hands had even pried the mortar and rock loose, sharpened them to point so that they might be rent from the foundation easier and tear to the flesh of that pretender. And so you used the Avendur against Aethys.
We poured the god hammer into its foundations with faith. Set it alight. Let the hammer fall, upwards onto the anvil. 8 died before the god hammer fell. And the god hammer claimed the remainder. 12 in all.
Sorry, Mako. And Aethys went back to the Aether, or the grave. Duretz grunts. He's lost his voice and his love of war, I'll tell you that much. He sneers. It took only taunts by men, and that was enough to lure him across the bridge and right into the new sun. Duretz straightens his back and takes a deep breath. It let Raedsair see how bright their arrogance had become. It became a symbol by which we answered their purge, one of our own. Purges?
We started saving the Aothasians from themselves, burning any that didn't die with their god. Heresy in Raedsaris is one thing. Heresy here in the Deerwood comes with a more personal touch.
Say it just answered their crime with one of your own.
As I see it, every Aothasian who still lives in the Deerwood puts the nation at risk. Is another dagger held to the throat of our faith. Root them out, burn them, or send them back to Raedsaris to wallow in the blood of their failure.
Hey, yeah, Duretz can't take ideas, so this is pretty funny to me. The dare would just like whack him with a shield, problem solved. I wanted to tell me about the Saints' War. I think that should have done it though. Duretz's eyes draw together in a frown. Keep forgetting your feet are new to this Deerwood. The Saints' War.
It wasn't a war. It was a god stepping past himself. The country of Raedsaris and all their heathens. They're paying for it now. Although by my count, the fire should have roared through their country with more force, catching all their souls. Truth, it wasn't even a war. It was a cautionary tale about pride. Specifically, Widewind's pride. He should have stayed a farmer.
Comrade Endmaker, that's very funny. And like, yeah, absolutely. Duretz will be like, yeah, all right, you beat me up, you won. That's a good point. This lesson will probably make me stronger. And now I'm going to try and fight you again later. But also he'd be like, so much for the Aethosian faith of rebirth and learning from your own lessons. What happened? Was what, 15, 16 years ago? 2807? Duretz pauses and shakes his head, shrugs. My memories are back with the younger me. I don't hold to them dates, I hold on to actions and causes. The war was an act of arrogance born straight from Raedsaris' twitching legs, a man thinking himself more than a man. Duretz snorts. Want to kill someone? Tell him a god speaks through him. Then tell him he means the lead, which puts him at the front of any army. And the army was as strong as you'd expect for Raedsaris, as sick as that country was to begin with, yet a war was likely just what they needed. What's wrong with the country? Raid Ceres has its share of troubles. It deserves all of them. It deserved Widewind. He was the light that led him to flame. Raid Ceres was in decline, Adir poison already eating its veins. Economic bleeding, the dying of their faith. Durance frowns. Then Widewind, this farmer, claims to take up Aethys in the flesh and gives him the worst kind of hope. What happened then? They crown him. Durance taps his head, making a slight bow, and when his face turns back to you, he's wearing a feral smile. They make him king, the worst kind of blasphemy. And once he wears the crown on his head and the god in his flesh, why, he starts making changes. Divine changes. Durance's eyes blaze. Then he decides he's going to change us. Save us. How? He marches on the Deerwood to free us from our beliefs, like he freed the other souls in Raid Ceres. Hollowborn offers up his belly with no resistance, and it's spared. Durance snarls. The bloodshed starts when he sacks Mercy Vale. A touch of irony, that. Puts it to the flame. Hollowborn? We know who Hollowborn is. Durance spits, snarls. Cowards, and Hollowborn is an apt name for them. They lie still, frozen, while their fellows burned. They'll pay Magrin's price one day for such cowardice. What did Aethys do next? Aethys kept marching. Deerwood takes to the trees, cutting at his flanks, his scouts, his troops. It seemed near hopeless. Durance's face becomes grim, then smiles slightly, until Hal got Citadel, the Godhammer. There, we put him to the flame. Burn the god out of him if there ever was one to begin with. Dozen brave men and women take to the bridge, make a stand. Then we torched him there with the fire of the Godhammer. Alright, that's enough for you right now, buddy. I'm gonna try and trigger it one more time.
If doubts and curiosity.
Tell me about Magrin. What is your view? No, what are aspects? Listen, what do you mean? No, nothing yet. Okay, sorry.
How do you do?
Nope.
Good day, stranger.
Why do I keep doing this? There we go. Turins,
You walk your path, I'll walk
fuck
mine.
off. Right, let's go deal with a companion we actually like for a little bit. During campfires? He does specifically say campfires a lot, but then I'll have to take him with me somewhere. Like... Turins, fuck off, yours sincerely. Yeah, we'll take him out. We'll take him out. But also take him out and rest somewhere. Walking paths. So just resting in an inn isn't enough? We'll get it to it, I promise. I think we got the last one as well. The last one necessary for him to give up the goods, buddy. Funny thing is, the first time I played and the time I remembered the big change when it happened, we'd already jumped into the pit, and so I couldn't change characters anyway. So I'm really glad the quest finished there. It was only after on a replay that I discovered that it's not scripted, so that you have to take Durance into the pit to finish his quest. That would suck, right?
The figurine. It's glowing.
Sagani's figurine that tells us where Persok is glowing. Jeez. We crit with one of our passive spells to deal with him. Persok. Reincarnation of one of the old leaders of Sagani's tribe. Deerwood expedition at the mercy of the tribes. Found the ruins where Sinowith's expedition camped. There are signs of battle everywhere. Yeah, we'll deal with those later. Let's deal with Sagani's quest. Let's find Persok.
Hey,
The tracks and bloodstains continue
Course.
further east. Bore. His spear, broken in half, has ornate gland-fathom hatchings on the two halves of its shaft. The wet wood shows dents stained green with moss, probably from impacts against river rocks. Grieving Mother can also level up. Sinowith. Over here, hurry. This is a big map. Oh, well, resolve the stalemate between the Deerwood Expedition and the Fangs.
Estremor.
That's a different side quest, but it's one that's worth doing. An elven woman stands beside a stag, petting the great beast on its neck. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Gwyneth. Sineth. Swineth. Gwyneth? Swineth. I don't know. That's hard. I need to hear it. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Stillness. The woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of the stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now. No need to fight. Yet. Gwyneth. Yeah, I can do that. Oh. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars raise her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners. More unclean feet trampling on our lands. More blood to feed the trees. She shakes her head. You should not be here, Estremor. Her hand moves to one of several blades strapped to her hips. If you are here in our lands, it is either to steal from us or aid those who would. She gestures to the north at the ruins of the Engwithan buildings protruding from the underbrush. Dear wooden mercenaries, looters. Can you hear their panicked whispers? Leave this place at once, or we will kill you when we finish these Estremor. 3 options. 1. I'm a friend of Ian Glenfarth. 2. Lie. I'm not with any dear wooden mercenaries. I realize we'll look the same, but I think you're mistaken. And 3. We'll settle this now. Attack. And to roll back to an earlier statement, there's a fire in that tree. Turins, you could stare into that fire if it matters so much. Well, coward. Comrade says, Father, I crave violence. Well, I mean, if Golem King were here, I assure you he would also say, well, we'll deal with this now. I'm a friend of Ian Glenfarth. She holds a gaze on you. The great stag stomps its front hooves on the ground and turns to its master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? This is lemon cordial that I added to water because I wanted a treat. Because I'm tired. Sorry, Golem King. I was hoping you were going to vote for violence. If you're indeed a friend, you would respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with your trespass. The woman clenches her jaw. Its muscles quiver under the pressure until suddenly calm returns to her expression. It's not blue. It's green. Oh my god, it looks blue in the camera! You're right. It's a light green to me. If you have no bonds of kin or kith with the looters, I will give you a chance to prove it. She draws one of her swords and with a swift arching motion points it to the ruins and beyond. The invaders must be purged from our lands. Prove your worth and we will believe your words. I kind of want to see a blue lemon now. Tell me about these mercenaries. Raiders, looters, same as all the other dear wooden thieves that pillage our lands. A woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the deer woodens from the first step beyond the great river and waited for them to err. They always do. We claimed half the pack in the first assault. The cowards that ran now huddle to the north. When the wind turns, you will smell their fear. Why don't you deal with them yourself? The woman runs a finger along her lower lip, looking at you through narrowed eyes. I gave you an order. Accept it like a grown hunter or refuse it like a mewling child, but do not question my will. I knew that would be... It would just add dialogue choices. So, 1, 2, or 3. I'll see what I can do. 2, if they surrender, will you let them live? And 3, I won't do it. Very many steps, comrade. I approve. 3 votes for 2. If they surrender, will you let them live? Benevolent 2. Softness such as yours will not bring them to heel. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honours no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example do we set to others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive again? Twin Elms positive 3. Well, no, we're not buddies of Twin Elms. Let him do it. 2. Use our stats because you saw where they crawl. The Fangs deserve better foes than these wounded animals. Send them home with grave warnings for their king. Golem King immediately takes the option that's like, not what the others want. And that's fair. I'm going to hit number 2. The woman gazes north, her mouth a twisted scowl as she ponders your words. The great stag nudges her shoulder, and she reaches up to scratch Animal's chin. Blood was spilled, and life sprouts from the soaked ground. She looks at you with a cold glare and mutters a curse under her breath and sheaves her blade. We will let the raiders return headless. The leader must pay for the crimes. Only then may the rest go free. She waves her hand northward. Go and deliver my message before I see the folly in this decision. 1, 2, or 3, everybody. 1. Do you wish the leader dead? 2. I will tell them at once. And 3. Their leader must also be set free. I think the votes count even if they are chaotic evil. This is a video game. Slam Shadows is a benevolent, clever, funny person. But he is also dictating... He is also a fictional character. And we may choose options that we wouldn't do in real life because video games have less consequences. That's why we play them. We play them not only to have a world where we have agency and choice and it feels like our decisions matter, but we're also allowed to fuck about. Slam Shadows is a cipher. We're all Slam Shadows. Man, better than a cipher, which is something I was leaning towards. It's just that I've already played it before and I wanted a grieving mother in the party. But Slam Shadows is a watcher. We are all voices of his past lives. We all count. Lexi? I don't know. I think it could be either. Oh, so I'm not referring to the character class. Yeah, well, that makes more sense, doesn't it? We've only got 1 vote for 3 on this particular choice, so I'm going to press it unless we get some more people yelling at me. Yelling suggestions, yelling choices. There we go. Their leader must also be set free. She stares at you silently, ignoring your statement. Her arms cross her body and a stag by her side emits a low growl. Well, I didn't expect that. I honestly thought that we'd, that they'd either go, no, and I'm going to kill you for being such a jerk, denying me the ability to kill these people. But I guess not. I'm back looking at 1 or 2. Stags can't growl. Do you wish the leader dead? We wish their leader to be an example to others. Sever his head, his freedom, or his family, whichever will best warn others not to trespass into our lands. Yeah, I wanted to choose 1. It's because it's 7 minutes till break time, and we haven't done a cool thing yet. Just listen to Duretz complain at us for a while. Hey, mercenaries! Stop! Friend or foe? The man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you as his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut in his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. Hear not, Glenfarthur. He tightens the grip on the sword's handle. By Magrin, friend or foe, I said. 1, 2, 3. I did have the chance to choose violence, and luckily we have it again. 1. Calm down, I'm a friend. 2. Lie. Friend, of course. Deceptive. And 3. Attack. Foe. Golem King, you've got to vote once. Actually, I mean, I say that, but Luxie votes for many things. We got 2 votes for 3 here. Comrade and Golem King are absolutely, we should attack these fuckers. And not just because it's really funny. By Magrin, friend or foe, he said. info. Shing. Ooh, 1 vote for one. 2 votes for one. That's very good indeed. Mercenaries have money. Our money. How is it our money as opposed to their money? Well, it becomes our money when we pick it up. I see. That's how that works. What is the fucking point of pushing for a peaceful option when we immediately turn and kill them? Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with that too. We have 2 votes for 1 and 2 votes for 3. Oh, 3 votes for 1. Very good, Hendo. Good timing. So, calm down. I'm a friend. Defiance Bay, +4. That's very high. Sword still pointing at you. The man gives sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenaries lower their weapons. Bite of Flame, the hero of Defiance Bay. A rare and welcome sight. Friends this far from home. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary company. Look at us, hiding in the rocks and holding in our guts. He points south. The fangs have blooded us and now we're trapped. Now attack! Sorry, friend, I'm with the Gladfarthans. No, like Gwyneth sent me. What happened? Resourceful girl. The captain huffs a chuckle before returning to his humorless frown. We assume the Glenfarthans killed her before coming upon us. I'm relieved she's alive, doubly relieved she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood, across his shoulders. The tribesmen ambushed us, just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Esmar looks at his feet as he finishes his thought. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. A stench of burning flesh and choking smoke obscured the scene, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to these ruins to regroup, but now we're trapped. The face painters are just south of our position, and they have us cornered. No doubt they're happy to let us starve while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with a locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we'll be making our last stand, he mutters as he clenches the gold ornament. 6 options. Yeah, exactly, Luxie. That's a good one too. 6 options. I mean, we've already seen number 5, and 6 is stab. So, number 1, I've convinced the Fangs to let you go, but you must bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. 2, maybe I can help you get out of here alive. And 3, the hunters are to the south, can you flee to the north? And 4, at least you didn't lose your locket in the scuffle. I think 3 and 4 are dialogue options, so I'm going to press those, and we'll see what comes up. Can you flee to the north? We could run that way, maybe evade the Glenfarthans if we're quick, but the captain looks over his shoulder and shakes his head. We've spotted a pack of Stalgars up there. Given the options, I'd rather some face painter kill me right quick than die slowly, bite by bite, to a feral cat. He glances northward. If I didn't know better, I'd wager the beasts are working on the tribesmen, but I'm sure they're just here following their stomachs. Look at us, limping on our injuries and covered in blood. We must smell like a butcher's shop. 4. At least you didn't lose your locket in the scuffle. Focusing on the positive, he asks with a laugh as he flips the locket between his calloused fingers. This is for my son, when he's old enough to be trusted with such things. Born a few months ago. Not hollow. Hylea be praised. Tell my beloved the child would want for nothing. He looks you in the eye with an embarrassed smile. Probably should have also promised her that I wouldn't throw my life away treasure hunting near Glanfath. He's hoping the boy gets his smarts from the mother's side of the family. I must take my leave for now. Bye. Just fuck off. Just leave. Okay. 1 and 2. Yeah, and when I was writing my setting, which, is just like a play around setting in D&D, I straight up said, there's no racism. We're just not dealing with it. It's boring. The closest thing we come to it for easy conflict is, nations don't agree with one another about their political methods and power structures, but they all allow free travel so that if you really disagree with the way a nation is run, you just leave and go to one that makes more sense. But also, so many games have lazy conflicts and bigotry. So many of them. So I'm a bit hardened to it, I guess. I don't see it as a natural way of things, and I like calling it out as bad. I'm not going to invite Mercenary Captain Esmar to be my best buddy in real life or even in the game. Anyway, 1. I've convinced the Fangs to let you go, but you must bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. Diplomatic 3. Isma blinks and arches his eyebrows in surprise. Well, if anyone could have, supposed it would be you, but creases around his eyes deepen with his growing frown. He looks at his locket and lifts his eyes back to you. Prisoner? If it's the only way to save my men, I'll endure it, but who's prisoner? One or two? 1. I have room in my stronghold to take you on as a prisoner. You'll be treated well. Or 2. The Fangs will hold you captive, but in return, your men will be free. I can take a prisoner. Also, given we're in charge of Cadnua, we could probably release him pretty quickly too. As soon as the Fangs are like, bye. Yeah, I get you, Maker. The problem is I don't play I don't play enough to make a statement, an appropriate statement at all. I don't even want to make assumptions. That'd be like someone playing only what it is someone who essentially only plays the Final Fantasy series when it comes to Eastern games, and then making a judgment on the whole nation's art. That seems bad. It seems really bigoted of me, so I wouldn't do it. I can only show you the things I've liked and enjoyed. That's also why we're doing Final Fantasy on Wednesday nights. Not this Wednesday. We have a Wednesday night off, okay? And I'll make sure the schedule on Twitch says so as well. And you keep recommending other very good Japanese games that I keep saying no to. I have room in my stronghold to take you on as a prisoner. You'll be treated well. You will hold me prisoner, and that will satisfy them? He takes a half stride back and looks you up and down. So be it. I'm more than willing to be held hostage if it means we will all get home safe. I'm sure you will have to keep me as a proper captive to honour the arrangement, but I understand. It's far better than being the Fangs prisoner. The captain turns to his company. Each of his soldiers stare back, pale with fear. Esmar takes a deep breath and raises his fist in the air. New orders. You are to fall back. The expedition is over. Stow your gear and make for Defiance Bay at once. The mercenaries exchange glances with each other, waiting for the first one to obey the command. Are you deaf? I won't tell you again. Time to go. Now! Esmar's booming voice springs the reluctant mercenaries into action. Wounds addressed one last time, camping gear secured, and within minutes the men set off on their march, nodding at their leader in acknowledgement as they pass. It's my duty to see my men return home. If that means enduring prison, so be it. And the Fangs are gone. Grats, everybody. Anyway, it is 3 minutes past our regular break time. Heaps of meaningful things. I feel like you're a bit burnt out by it, but sometimes really good things happen, and we are entirely responsible for it. Set a prison's soul free. Dealt with a massive racist. Not bounties. Put a soul to rest by recovering parts of a helm and putting it together. Cadnua is fairly reigned as much as we can. Taxes are incredibly low. Burden of Memory is a great one. Slave hunters put down. And we're going to deal with the hollowing of the Deerwood. Anyway, let's take a 10-minute break, everybody. So we'll be back at 8:44, probably 8:45. That's a bit more normal. And we'll see everyone then. Remember to get up and have a stretch. Excellent. Now, back to chatting for a second. Scroll up and check chat. Oh. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks everybody for being extra polite to one another, looking after each other. That's important too. I'm actually pretty proud that we're having disagreements and we're being respectful to one another. It's very important and very hard to do on the internet. So, good. This is a gin and tonic. Very simple, very classic drink. It's also like gin and tonic is an underrated drink just because it's a standard one, but I don't like the connotations with it that gin is apparently, and kind of recently as well, feminine. Because humans, not all, no, not humans, what the fuck am I saying? Western cultures have a lot of fun gendering everything pointlessly. They're like, yes, brown liquors, the higher calorie ones, they are for men and only men. And clear liquors, the one with lower calories, if you care about that, they're feminine. And so you garnish a gin and tonic with a small twist of lemon. And whiskey, you don't garnish at all. You gotta have it. Have we cycled back to fit? It was happening in your early 20s. I don't believe it at all. I think it's bullshit. Then again, I'm not actually in enough cocktail culture to get that firsthand. I'm only picking up online. Yeah. And I like it. Wait, I'm early? Yeah, I am. I'm 5 minutes early. Never mind. Whoops. I guess we'll just keep talking. Gin and tonic was only people make gin in malaria places to get the quinine. Middle-aged lady. Yeah, I know. The thing is, and the gin ladies I know are really cool, so that's not actually an issue. But it's not really a thing. It's an alcoholic beverage. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't need one. It's tasty, though. Gin ladies, you know, are very cool. Yeah, exactly. And this is one of Emma's too. They just stole. These are good ones. Citrus or maybe lavender. Yeah, and but also all of the botanicals that you put in gin. Is the video and sound unsynced for anyone else? I don't know. I hope not. All the botanicals that you can put in gin, that you can garnish a gin and tonic with, are botanicals you could put in a gin anyway to infuse it, and that's honestly a better choice. And then I'd add a different, thing to put on top as a garnish. Not an incredibly strong thing, but cucumber is exactly right. I've had cucumber garnished G&Ts in 2 places, and they were really nice. Come on, Marvel, up. Good girl. Yeah, so my "I'll be back in a sec" message was, I can hear Marvel drinking water and her water bowl is low. Not empty, but low. I want to make sure she has more water. Because she's a good dog, and if someone can't manage something for themselves and you can help out, you should. And I can help out by getting her some water, so I did. It's not her fault she's a foot tall and shaped weirdly. We made her that way. Come here. Come here. Baby. Is she even a foot tall? Slightly less than a foot, yeah. Teeny dog. She's a good dog. And I think I'll see if I can get her to settle on my lap while we finish tonight's session, huh? You want a hot dog? Me too, it's been a little while. She's a good girl. So I wanted to get her a drink. And let her settle into her blanket. Because when I got up for the break, she was trotting down the hallway with a packet of vermicelli noodles in her mouth. And I said, "Where did you get this?" And she said, and dropped it on the ground. I mean, she's a good dog, but you can't fucking stop her. She found a way to get vermicelli noodles and she wanted to eat them. At least they wouldn't kill her. Gluten-free hot dogs are hard to get. I'm not good at cooking, like baking gluten-free yet, but I want to practice. It's a good idea, Baker. I'm going to practice some gluten-free. Because I can make some decent hot dog rolls, that's for sure. Pillars is bleak.
Let's see what we got.
Bleak fucking setting. It's also not the worst. The hot dogs absolutely, as a thickener, the hot dog meat would absolutely have wheat. They put gluten in everything. Aldi regular sausages are gluten-free? Thank you, Hendo. See, I'm thinking about the bread the most of all. That's going to be the hardest. Really, Maker? That's fantastic. Jeez. I'm not giving enough credit, assuming they'd just pop it in anywhere they could. It doesn't matter at the mercy of the tribes. I think you could just kill them and say, go north. But, like... they're gone. They left. That might even be a bug. I'm not actually sure. See, I like cocktail franks, perhaps more than I should, so that's a good thing to know.
Got an arrow for
Why is all of your AI off? Come on, guys, get him.
got it. Dead on.
Six to death? Yeah, that's fair. What is this? I bet this is about... just level up Greeting Mother before you go too much further. Yeah, high chance of no going in between. Nope. Actually, that might be useful. Savage attack. There you go. Extra damage. Why not? Don't want to miss we come back to earlier conversation because I'm needy like that. Actually, I don't know what you mean there. You might have to come back to me or Maker when you get back, alright? Anyway, I believe this one is probably let's figure out actually who killed this cat. Because we were asked to find the truth. Little did they know we're a watcher, we're just gonna speak to, like, the cat's soul. Over a ground hardened by dry blood and stomped leaves, the corpse of a giant stalgar crawls with flies. Its flesh has been pierced and cut, as if stabbed by spears and slashed by swords. You touch the dead stalgar's flank. A cloud of flies stirs into the air, and suddenly you feel the creature's remaining essence. The world around falls away. Marvel. Hush. The pack rests, rock shelter the young, full bellies. You turn away and look beyond the trees. The moon breaks over their swaying canopy. A scent in the air stirs a tingling in your mouth. You slide into the shadows. A taste of the hunt filling your nostrils. Light shines on the stones by the water that falls. Prey down below. Two-legged, hair like dry grass. It moves near the water that flows. Thin legs, slow, noisy, unaware. It holds a sharp stick. Two-legged hunter, weak hunter, prey. Closer, prey. Bright moon, prey. Into the dark. Pain on your side. A sharp stick pokes out of your flank. You roar and shake it. It snaps, breaking on the stones. Wet stones. Your blood. Leaves rustle. You look. Another two-legged. Another hunter. Thick legs. Silent steps. Stripped face. Oh, thank you very much, comrade. That's amazing. I guess you really didn't want to see that ad, huh? Strong hunter. Enemy. You leap, aiming at its neck. It moves fast. Your claws find flesh, ripping it deep, ripping it down. Wet leaves, two-legged blood. It howls. It fights back. Long claws cut through the air. They slash at your flesh. More pain, sharp pain. You strike. It strikes. Hot blood in your claws. Hot cuts on your chest. The world goes red. Your strength fails. You can't breathe. The two-legged hunter looks down. Wet ground. Our blood. Sharp stick above its head. Bright moon above its head. Strong hunter. The world goes dark. Search in Essentials Waterfall for clues to Fiom's fate. Okay. Alright, Marvel. Have you go. There you go. You don't need to sit on my lap. And curl up and have a nap. Yeah, pup. Here you go. Good girl. Good girl. Thanks for joining me for a little bit, Marvel. What a good dog. Hey, waterfall. Oh, I better go down there. But not yet. We're here to find Persoc. Come on. Oh, Marvel. Marvel. Hush now. I don't have any snacks. You don't need any more food. Bedtime. Slime shadows. You come upon a clearing and see a group of Glenfathers standing in a circle. Sagani glances from the Adra statuette to the hunters, looking for a connection. Meanwhile, the hunters turn and notice you. Their bows are drawn. Must complete map. Yeah, I agree. What are you doing here?
You mock us? Even the keepers of the stone will honor us after this hunt.
They step aside and turn to you, and as they do, you see something on the ground behind them. Lying amidst the ferns is a white stag. Dark blood mars its brilliant coat. Hello, Captain. And its sides tremble with quick, shallow breaths. You feel a presence in the beast, something ancient and familiar. Before you can speak, something thumps to the ground. You look down and see the Adra bear, its bright glow flickering.
Arc's shadow.
Sagani draws up beside you, her wide eyes fixed on the dying stag. Her mind, full of pain, to have journeyed so long and have found this. One of the hunters takes a step forward, and Sagani raises her bow, and arrow knocked.
Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him.
Her voice is low and tremulous.
I never thought I'd prepared myself to meet a stranger. To share the honor and history of my village with someone who had no knowledge of us. Even someone who'd scorn our way of life.
As the hunters back away, she lowers her bow. I never thought. She watches the great beast's labored breathing for several seconds. If you're going to do this, you've got to hurry.
I was going to tell him about the years of abundance in Masuk. How his granddaughters have hunted caribou, and his grandsons made our walls strong. But he'll be gone in minutes.
Welcome back, Miko. Hey chat, this is actually an important decision. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Sagani has found Persoc. Persoc is in the spirit of a very large white elk. The elk has been shot and killed. Well, is dying by hunters. What does she say? 1, it doesn't matter what you say. He's dying and you're doing this for your village. 2, remind him of his impact on Masuk. 3, tell him about his family. And 4, trust your instincts. It's up to you, friends. If you're a reincarnation of a soul, you may be aware, you may be not, of your past life. And someone from a past life comes to speak to you, and you're dying, and you're an elk, not even a human anymore. What would you want to know? What matters? Is one dismissive or freeing very ambiguous? Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, but it also refocuses this tradition is about for the village instead of for Persoc, you know? I think that's the most important thing there. It doesn't matter what you say, he's dying, you're doing this for your village. 1 or 4 for Sagani to make the call. 2 votes for 4, 1 for 3, 1 for 1. I'll give us just a minute in case someone wants to yell at a different answer. I'm going to have to send a message to rebooting and say that we got to the end of your favorite companion's questline. Because here it ends, by the way. I mean, that should make as much sense, right? We've completed Adair's, we've completed Aloth's, we've completed Palagina's. We completed Grieving Mothers too, but that was just talk to her over and over. My favorite. It doesn't matter what specifically you say, it matters that you're there and talk to him. That's how I see it. I'm going to select 4. Trust your instincts.
He must know that Masuk remembers him.
She takes a deep breath. She kneels by the fallen stag. Placing her hand on its head, she begins speaking. She tells Pasok of the prosperous decades, of the grain trade that sustained them through the long winters. She recites the stories told about him and speaks of the new elders who followed in his footsteps. The stag takes a final shuddering breath and falls still.
If you've finished your chanting, we need to get to work before the meat spoils.
Don't hate this Fangs Hunter just because it's the same voice actor as Duretz. As Sagani rises, one of the hunters turns to her.
Have you no respect? A great soul inhabited this body.
She looks up, horror and anger bright in her eyes. She takes the lusterless Adra figurine.
And it's gone now. What's left is our kill.
Yeah, you can hate him for other reasons. That's all I'm saying. So, 5 options. 1, watch in silence. 2, you owe Sagani an apology. 3, don't waste her time, Sagani. And 4, another comment like that will fell you next to him. And 5, how can you show so little regard? True, but they did do it for food though. Honor us. Nope. Didn't specifically say about food. That is true. But they do say before the meat spoils, so I think they will also need the food. Hunting especially is a big part of their food gathering techniques. So maybe to say they're going to eat it, it's not just a trophy kill. Yeah, they're rare. I think is the only thing about it. 2 votes for 3. They're not worth her time, Sagani.
I won't take long.
Coming from people who revere stones and long-dead Audra.
She draws her hunting knife.
She slanders the builders.
Sagani wants to kill him. 1. Sagani, this isn't worth bloodshed. 2. Let's all stay calm. There's no need to argue. 3. Resolve. You'll leave us alone if you know what's good for you. And 4. You performed your ritual, Sagani. Let them have theirs. Back our I want to back up our companion. Except if, Turins was here, I wouldn't back him. Sagani's been level-headed and very calm and very normal a lot of the time. But she is here to do something she spent the last 5, or I think it's 9 years traveling. And to find this one, the soul reborn into this deer. And we did. We did it. Couple of votes for 3. Let's do it. Intimidate. You'll leave us alone if you know what's good for you.
You Estramoran are full of useless talk.
The Gladfathens raise their weapons. Well, let's deal with it. And
Of course.
this isn't perfect, but it's what they keep asking for. I think the greatest flaw in the Gladfathens is that they are inflexible.
Do no harm. After him, Itamak.
When they're... And that happens a lot. Because it's the inflexibility is an easy way to add conflict to your story. If they back down here, there wouldn't be a fight. But there also wouldn't be this argument, this tense, this narratively, interesting clash. And so you can just toss it in whenever you'd like. To create drama, create conflict. To create conflict, add inflexibility. Hendo, yeah, that's a good point. They're inflexible as far as their culture is concerned. They won't recognize others. We're also not in first contact, you know? And we know for a fact they've been treated really poorly before.
Got him.
My bow's ready.
Yeah, it's another one too. Why hers has meaning and the others don't? Because Sagani was like, you've killed this thing that's really important to me, and they made fun of her for it. Then they watched someone pour their heart out in a ritual, and then were like, are you done? Like, that lack of perception too on neck. Not bad. It is certainly true. If I meet a stranger who is upset, I try to help them, or at least I don't hurry them along. Up we go. Yeah, I also maintain we can't fault them for killing a stag. Exactly. They're just doing that. It's an important part of their life. And you'll notice Sagani was... Sagani at the beginning was like... I gotta add a statuette looking for the hunters. Steps behind turn to you, sees over the ground, there's a white stag. And they're like... mindful of pain. Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him. As they take a step forward. Like, she lowers her bow once they stop moving. And like, she just wants to do this thing. And they're hurrying her along. And that's mean, right? I didn't want to attack them either. It's not fair. And I wanted to tell Sagani, they're not worth it, don't do it. Don't take your time. And we also didn't like try to steal the meat. One of the most important parts of that hunt, right? A winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above. It now sits squarely in your way. Well, let's take a look around. The boulder is nearly flush with the cliff face, preventing you from passing by on that side. Along the edge of the cliff, however, there is a narrow space just wide enough for you to follow to the other side. The boulder's landing has crushed the steps beneath it, however. I think Thingo did drop a boulder on What's-It. I'm going to push the boulder out of the way. Who will clear the way? A deer, obviously. A deer hovers at the boulder, and after a few difficult moments it starts sliding and rolling haltingly across a cracked step, then plunges over the side and away. You hear the echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down the side of the cliff. The sound seems to stir something overhead. The shadow crosses a path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. But you do see the rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks, flung down at you from above. Wow, thanks everybody. I'm going to hover as many boulders as I'd like. He goes, hoof. Scrambling to action, the party ducks under a small rocky protrusion along the cliff face. But Sagani stumbles and is left just short of shelter. A sudden hailstorm of fist-sized rocks and scattered debris rains down upon them. Damn it, I skipped an additional one. Your ordeal passed, you continue to climb, with the rest of the journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of a final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillars of Hylea's nest. I don't want a half rock. It really sounds like a smoking crystal. What did we miss? Battered and bruised, Sagani leaps the final distance to safety. After a short while, the thundering rumble of falling stones fades away. She has 2 injuries of concussion and bruised ribs. But a deer can level up. I misread it. I think it is heave heavy. A deer heavers. Extra enemy engaged. How about mental fortress so you don't keep getting charmed, which happens all the time to you? Look, we're going to scroll up and I'm going to reread it. A deer heaves at the boulder. There you go. G&T and sleepiness, very sleepy. You know what we're going to do? We're going to clip that.
Have a moment to talk.
Stormcaller, rest in the lair of a sky dragon. All assault brand upgrades are completed. Ta-da! Sagani got her final upgrade to Stormcaller. Do you like that?
A deer in the middle of Air Glonfoth.
Sagani shakes her head.
But I'm glad I can bring this success back to Masuk. And perhaps Persok will return to us one day because of it.
Do you think Masuk will remember you the way they remember Persok? Would be nice to know I've made a difference, and to get the first choice of caribou flank during festival time.
To be honest, the biggest relief is knowing that my journey was worthwhile. That finding Persok and carrying our village's story to him will strengthen our community and return his soul to us. I'm looking forward to being back in Masuk among my family and my people. But more than anything, I'm glad to finally understand the purpose behind these last 5 years.
Her eyes go into soft focus.
What do you think?
She
Do you feel as though you understand the purpose behind your hunt for Theos?
She looks back at you, searching her expression with sharp, lively eyes. Larksy, you can't trust my pronunciation for anything. Does anyone remember lever? Lever? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I need to know what happened in my past and why it haunts me now. 2. Closure with Theos will bring me peace. 3. I'm still not sure. 4. I need to fix the evil he's perpetrated on the Deerwood. And 5. There is no purpose. But I have to find him to preserve my soul. Meow! Yes, hello! It's good to see you, Captain. Meow. Yeah, and with the voice AI turned off, you can, like, hear me say lever more. Lever. Okay, 4 or 1 from Comrade, 3 or 5 from Mako, 3 or 4 for Alexi. So it looks like 3 is winning. We'll give it just a moment. You want to sit on my lap? What a good captain. Did you make the mistake of going outside and realized it is way too cold? Oh yeah, 3 or 4 is winning. That's true. Huzzah for basic math. Didn't want him. Oh, what a good, perfectly normal session tonight, everybody. And a 3 for Hendo. That's excellent. Well, now 3 is winning. I'm still unsure. Gollum agrees. Gollum would go 5. You know it.
I hope you find your reason, Watcher. And I hope it brings you comfort, whatever it is. Anyway, Theos isn't getting any closer. I suppose we'd best keep after him.
Let's go.
Hey,
Yes, Captain. Good boy. Hendo, no!
Let's see what we got.
The edges of the bones are brittle and blackened. Dragon!
I rather hoped we'd be sneaking up on it.
Yes, Aloth, but I pushed the boulder off the pass so that we couldn't. As you reach the summit of the mountain, a gust of wind stirs the air. You hear a noise like the snapping of sails, and the sky is briefly blotted out. A dragon lands before you, shaking the ground beneath your feet. It draws itself up to its full height and spreads its wings, barring your passage. Its neck, its back, and the ridge of its spine are covered with magnificent plumage. It hisses at you, and while the sound is unlike any language you've ever heard, the beast's meaning is utterly clear.
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
It snorts a stream of sulphurous vapor. A small worm crouches in the corner of the temple behind the dragon. like to fuck this dragon. It's gorgeous. Do not steal a dragon baby. Well, perhaps maybe I have a baby so that I can make a trade with a dragon, hey? Oh, you never saw this coming. That's because it's not an option. Be careful, Watcher. Her mind is on edge, not with hunger, but with fear. It's a little more dangerous than a mother defending her offspring. Yeah, I think that's a bit of cowardice that the Obsidian developers do not include an option to fuck a dragon. There have been 3 dragons so far. We've been unable to fuck any of them. Maybe we could have this one. Trade for the baby. Yeah, exactly. Then again, like, dragon fuckery just straight up it doesn't happen in many games. Missed opportunities. The only games from what's hot. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure how that keeps coming about. They're in development. They're happening. Alright, so we've got several votes for one, and I agree. You have Young here?
I will protect my last hatchling to the death. And that death will be yours, rodent.
The beast snarls, smoke jetting from its nostrils. I need to update my Steam preferences. I sincerely allow adult content. Of course I have. I was part of at least 2 email writing campaigns to Steam to allow R-rated games. Then I bought essentially none of them because I'm not interested. Except Dream Daddy. And Best Friends Forever. And another one. Yeah. Yeah. That seems more likely, isn't it, Luxie? It's just, generally, this should not be a blanket statement, so don't see it as the way the industry is and it will never change. But generally, the people who want to create a lot of monster fucking games or include a lot of adult content in the games aren't likely to treat the material in a way that is both arousing and respectful. And with both the seriousness and interest, as well as the opportunity to take it sexy. Like, we're going to talk sex scenes, aren't we? We're going to talk sex scenes a little bit. Let's hit. Hylea is a goddess of motherhood, actually. We've got a couple of ones.
And of the sky and all winged creatures, even my kind know of her.
A low rumble issues from the dragon's throat, and it bristles its feathered crest. Tendrils of smoke rise from between its teeth. 1 and 2. All 3, we could say, too bad I had to kill you both, lol. 1, then you should respect her temple and leave? Or 2, is that why you came here? Lady Killer in a Bind is absolutely a great game and highly recommended. Mako's got some good good recommendations there. I haven't played it though, sadly. Whoops. But yeah, Comrade's totally right too. The shovelware smart is something I'm not interested in at all. Like any simple puzzle game like a match 3 that also shows you tits. No, the tits are available everywhere on the internet. Is that why you came here?
I came to care for my remaining hatchling. My kind requires territory. Few places are safe for our young. This is a lesson that cost me the rest of my brood.
It flicks the tip of its feathered tail. A dragon runs a forked tongue over teeth the size of short swords. A chunk of flesh is lodged between 2 of its cuspids. I don't know what that is. 1. Then you should stay. Raising your offspring here would honor Hylea. Or 2. You and your offspring will kill many if you stay. You have to leave. Cuspids are a variety of teeth. Oh, lovely. That's a writer showing off. Or a writer Googling teeth. and selecting an option that is not something they've heard before. Christine Love has some good shit that carves to the bone. Yeah, I bought Get in the Car Loser and the DLC. Like you get the game for free and then you buy the DLC for essentially a full game's price. It's a really intelligent pricing model, that's for sure. And I haven't played it yet, and I don't know if I will. And it won't probably won't hit me as hard. But I want to. It's actually on the list of, if Jimbles does a Saturday morning stream, where I imagine a lot of our friends here will be unavailable and watch it in VOD, but we may get some American, like that. The task was make the dragon not be here, exactly. No, the task was given to us, through visions. Essentially, Hylea was like, my temple is unusable right now. And my worshippers have died. Yeah, exactly, Mako. That's one of the myriad benefits of being cis. I do not have trauma inflicted on me by the greater society in that way. 11 to 3, 4 on Saturday? I don't want to do that. I was going to do 9 in the morning, so at 12 o'clock I can go leave. I can go join other weekend games. Anyway, 1 vote for 2, another vote from 2 from Larksy, 1 vote for 1 from Hando, 1 vote for 1 from Mako. We have a split. Can dragons stay here and worshippers worship by building a new temple? Maybe. 9 AM is 5 PM EST on Friday night. Yeah, see, I was also thinking it'd be like once-off games. I'm going to boot up, get in the car loser, and play it for a while, see what happens. I would like to say you should stay. Racing your offspring here would honor Hylea, and I will tie-break.
So be it. Go then, and with my thanks.
The dragon slowly lowers its wings, watching you carefully. It grunts and lowers itself onto all fours. The grieving mother's eyes are warm, approving. Truly, you are full of surprises and rare insights. Quick save. So, hilariously, this is the 3rd dragon we've ran into, and we haven't killed any of them yet. The edges.
Slow and silent.
You'll notice that it's stealing if we try to take these. Which makes sense. But what if...
Yeah?
we have someone who's good at stealing? What does the dragon have in its hoard? A ring of might +3? Absolutely, we'll take that. The dragon's starting to notice us, but not very fast. A Willbreaker Grimoire? Absolutely, we want that. I haven't been caught stealing yet, so let's take Gordonsteiner. Yank. There.
Slow and silent.
We got the loot. Let's continue in Northfield. Specifically a creature of air with a baby, you know? It makes sense. Mako does not like any divinities at all. Ding, told ya. I would not put any trust or faith in any of the divinities and pillars. Yes, even Hylea. I think, this is perhaps one of the most disingenuous ways to take it possible, but I find any organization, church, group that is only interested in pregnancy and not supporting people after birth is a bit circumspect. Perhaps I am, say... a bit annoyed by the pro-life movement in America, right?
Settle!
Yes, you see, and Mako is aware of all the gods are dicks and takes it to its logical endpoint, which is, and therefore, give them no respect. They do not deserve it. And under a lot of circumstances, that makes a lot of sense, right? Category. So, like, letting the dragon stay there means that they're not going to set up the temple again. Because I make fun and bring attention to human cultures, human and other kith cultures, being ridiculously stubborn. Dragons are more stubborn. It's even more in their nature not to do anything like that. This leather pack, its belongings washed down the current of the river, gleams like a wet rock. This boot lies half buried in mud on the riverbank, as if it had been flushed from upstream.
I tried to pet a Stelgar once. Similar outcome.
Oh dear. Which is funny, because Skain is explicitly a higher being that only assists the downtrodden. And he does it all gross. Beneath the raging waterfall, the corpse of an elven Glenfarthern hunter lies shattered against the rocks. Broken gods protrude through its skin, but you also notice deep parallel cuts in the rotting flesh. The traces slash almost every part of the body, as if it had been ravaged by a dozen blades. This man probably died before his fall from the cliffs above. You touch the dead elf's forehead, droplets of water glistening down its purple surface, and you feel a sudden jolt from the hunter's lingering essence. The world around you fades away. You're walking along the underbrush without making a sound. Moonlight catches sight of your arms, shining them pale, but you quickly dart again into the shadows of the giant trees of the Northweald. Your blood brother is not so deft as you expected. Look at him, frail, unaware. He doesn't deserve to share the glory of this hunt. It's been countless seasons since a Stelgar like this one, twice the size of its lesser kin, has roamed the forests near Twin Elms. Arthwin fell for the trick. You almost feel pity for him, but you're convinced yourself that he'll only get in the way once the killing begins. He'll be safer by the river, expecting that we'll flank the Stelgar when it comes out to drink, but this kill will be only yours. The Stelgar is larger than you imagined. He stands without fear atop the waterfall's ridge, its silhouette cutting a monstrous hole against the mantle of the night sky. A beast of legend, a true hunter. Your hand tightens around the shaft of your father's spear. The weight feels balanced, just right, as you prepare the throw. You put everything into it. The spear flies true and hits its mark. The Stelgar didn't even hear a sound. Its blood spills bright on rocks, yet it stands unfazed. The beast pounces. Moonlight shines over its great fangs. Your hands draw your blades without a second thought, and you lunge forward to meet this monster. It's fast. It's ripping your flesh apart. You stab at the darkness engulfing you deep, again and again, but there's no slowing its embrace. Well, now we know. Yep. Yep. Northweald Cave. I don't think we've been in there yet. Pilgrim Shrine, the rest. We get paid for Hylea's quest and favor from the gods we can call in when it comes to surviving the pit. Exactly, that's why we're there. We also don't have to do every quest. I want to, though. New map discovered. Cave. Bonk.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
I'm gonna regret this. Turning up to easy. This is ridiculous. We should have to use tactics.
Hey. Hey.
Wait a minute. Come on, Jules. Yeah. Use per rest. Use better rest. You just fell down and died. I don't want that.
Aye?
Use your pet rest abilities too.
I'm here.
Next I'll start pausing and taking turns. Yeah, I think that's pretty well earned, that reputation. Be aggressive. I don't even know why we're here. We found a cave and like adventurers we said, well, I gotta get the fuck in there. Sign me the fuck up. A cave? Let's cast Fireball multiple times for no reason.
Useless.
Hilarious. Pillars 2 is a turn-based mode if you want to get really tactical. Not turning it on. I've ranted about this before. There's one forced turn-based fight in Wrath of the Righteous, and it drove me mad. Anyway. Skeleton! Club. Sneak attack bonus on boots. Cool.
Of course.
I mean, is that it? Like, you're gonna touch a Pillars game? No. This is clearly not for you, Mako. You're here to hang out with us, and that is good. If that drove me mad. I found an opening, so I gently opened it. Ensured its enthusiastic consent, and then we went inside the cave and plundered its booty. Of which it was nothing useful. The nest, pilgrim shrines, and we have completed this place. Let's get out of here. Tyranny at least has combo abilities. Ah, Tyranny. Yeah. Now that's a game I want to give a try again. How do I expect to handle War of the Lions? I don't know. I'm not sure. I honestly... That's one of the main reasons I haven't tried to play them before. Right? There's no auto battle? Oh, fuck. I don't think there should be an auto battle in a strictly turn-based and tactics game. It is Final Fantasy Tactics. It's doing what it says on the tin, and it's doing so well, apparently. But it's for big brain people. Hey, churchies!
We saw you go up the mountain. Well,
Onwin
what
peers
happened?
Onwin peers at you eagerly.
She means to say that we're both very relieved to see you're safe.
Deadman, now that's an idea. Are you busy at the moment? You want to play through an entire game? I can get you an emulator for the PSP version, and then we can record that. Restream a speedrun. Oh, that's good. 100% completion speedrun or any percent? Because an any percent speedrun may be very different. Or maybe it won't.
Yes, of course, that too.
I decided to let the dragon and its young stay in the nest.
Are you insane? There's no telling how many kit those monsters will kill. How could you let them live?
She gapes at you.
If the Queen of Birds saw fit to conceive such a creature in her own skies, then who are we to destroy it? This is not the outcome I have prayed for, but perhaps it is Hylea's will nonetheless. Perhaps speaking to her at Terevron will illuminate the matter.
Kesfeth places a hand on her back. He looks to the mountain pass. Goodbye. Congrats, everyone. We can now complete the quest and complete the game. If we're really tired of it, we can be done now. I'm not really tired of it yet. Sorry, everybody. Torture racks. That's the second torturous thing that's just been here.
This almost feels like home.
A chill hovers over the frozen lake, draining the air of warmth. It's not worth going in here yet. Noonfrost, we will. It's pretty interesting. But we have 30 minutes left tonight. The ice keeps on growing, like the poisonous mold on a tree. Dorval.
Hail, Estremor.
A thin, ragged man stands waiting on the barge, leaning on the oar. A smile of greeting splits his weathered features. It's been a very long time since an outsider sought passage to the burial isle. What is this burial isle? It is a sacred place, for it sits upon the great works of the builders. There, by our ancestors, all our Adam paths are laid to rest. If you go there, my friend, it is not a place where the living to walk. Is it dangerous? Dorval nods solemnly. Those I bring to the island return the same way, or else not at all. It is a home only to the dead. Spirits, shades, the builders remain, watch over our Adam Father. They bound to the island, protect it fiercely. Farewell. Alright, when we go across, isn't Noonfrost the temple of the god of entropy? It is indeed. No one to please, no crowd to inspire, no furry maiden's kiss to spark my song's fire. What would I give for the old days to return? Skyfather stares at you and slowly blinks away.
Many blessings, traveler.
Salutations, Estremor, the Orlan chirps in a sing-song voice. I was known as Dellen, chanter of old song. I trust you're enjoying the beauty of this sacred place? Are you the resident entertainer? I sing to entertain old song's visitors, but alas, the crowds have thinned into little more than a trickle. The chill wind from Rimmergran's temple is driving people away. Now I sing, but nobody listens. My music is without purpose. But I know of a solution, a way for me to make my songs warm and passionate, countering Rimmergran's incessant chill. Yorlan smiles and reaches out with a grasping motion. All I need are a few rare songbirds. I could eat them and absorb their musical energy. With that kind of musical prowess in my soul, I could sing a song that could bring back the merry crowds. Fucking chilled edgelord. I mean, yeah, Rimmergand is absolutely a like one of the divinities. It's like, I don't know why literally anyone would worship you at all. Good night, Summer. It's been lovely having you. I hope you sleep well, and tomorrow treats you even better than today. Indeed. Now that we're not in lockdown, we're going to consider seeing each other again, huh? It may even be a Fedo in 2022. I won't be on the committee, but we'll see. Couple of votes for 2. Let's keep it going. You want to eat the songbirds? I don't think it works that way. The Orlan stares at you, dumbfounded, before rolling his eyes and lecturing you. Eating the muscles of an animal makes you stronger, right? If you consume green stalks, do you not take on their pungent smell, even down to the water you pass? He smiles, pleased with his reasoning. Just as one cannot sweat if one is parched, I cannot sing without a nourished soul. It's all very basic. Did your parents teach you nothing of the food dropping cycle? He's an Orlan who wants to auto-lend them. Okay, everybody. 1 or 2? Are we going to bring Comrade Stop Stirring the Pot? Even if it is very funny to me. I'm an Orlan too, yes, but I am not from Clonfarth. We are from the White That Wins. You can say fine, but I do think it's very funny. We don't have to participate. That's true. I'm gonna get a lot of votes for finding birds to feed to this dude. Do you think it'll make Hylea angry at us? Because I think that's pretty funny. Alright, no additional votes. No, I'll leave you to your nonsense. I think it's funny that he's just like, do you not know how to poop, dude?
Nice. Subtle.
Dank, sultry draft issues from the cave within the beast's head. Condensation drips from the stone teeth. I'm not going to go find you birds to eat, you idiot. Dank and sultry. My favorite. This hunter gives you a stiff nod. The viscous liquid gives off a sharp, metallic odor.
Arensi has no right to defend that cowering cat in the back of the maw.
Then track her down and tell her yourself.
Okay. What's this? The remains of a broken bridge, long collapsed, lead into a deep chasm. The other side of the bridge pierces through the mist at the far end of the chasm, hanging precariously over the steep fall. Examine the area. The broken stones of the bridge, weathered after centuries of disrepair, are scattered along the edge and one and side of the chasm. A thin mist rises from below. The stones are coated with slick green moss, making them impossible to grip safely. The wooden beams lodged between the stones on either side of the bridge seem steady enough to support your weight, however. I don't know why we'd jump across, so let's not yet. The stones at the edge of the chasm are slick and beaded with moisture. No. The coarse sand offers modest cushioning, which shifts in size underfoot. We are in Galawain's Moor. We have a quest for Galawain. Hunter, no. Oh, come on, where are you? Travel just no more. The old queen and the new king. Two mighty hunters, a lioness and a bear, wait in deadlock. They face off but do not fight. Force me to resolve the stale conflict one way or another. Yeah, that's it. What we're doing here is just
Tread carefully,
making them fight. An all-in woman stands ankle-deep in the sand, sharpening a spearhead. Another wanderer from frozen lands. She points the flint spearhead at you. Bethel may be wide-eyed and soft-headed, but I'm not so easily fooled by you, Estremorn. I've got my eye on you. Have other foreigners come this way recently? Glamfellon, worshippers of Remagan, they claim, simply looters and defilers by another name. That's the truth. The spearhead flashes as she shakes it at the door. It disappeared behind the doors of Noonfrost, and now our lake turns to ice, and the cold creeps ever closer. She digs a trench into the sand with one bare foot. Yet Bithel is timid, and she's convinced the other Animfather we must respect these Estremorn and their traditions, no matter what mischief guides their hands. She raises her head, slowly looking back towards the entrance. I'm guessing you didn't leave it at that. I sent my own sister, one of my finest scouts, to sniff out the Pale Elves' corruption. I was certain the Animfather could not ignore the defilement in Noonfrost once Alwa's own eyes had seen it, but she still hasn't returned. She looks away. Now I bear the responsibility for her fate, and I can't send the Fangs after her without openly defying the Animfather. I could look for Alwa. She gives you a guarded look. And I dare to hope, whenever catastrophes befall Noonfrost does not feel like the work of Kith. But nothing would bring me greater joy than seeing her again. She glances at the sand and frowns. I'll take any assistance you can give. What are you doing here? My stocks equip my brethren in the Fangs, and my hands train them to fight, hunt, and track with skill. What purpose brings you here? Tell me about the Moor. An ancient place of beasts and dangers. As followers of the clever hound, we assemble and train here as hunters, warriors, and defenders of the Builder's sacred places. Chaos pervades the Moor, and more than ever due to the stalemate between the beasts. She shakes her head, but Deathwing refuses to intervene, and many itch to settle the matter over blood. Buy things. Unique stiletto, eh? Strictly better than Oidric, you say? Spell striking tongue of... Yeah, that's good. Let's do that. A new dagger for you. 7 Skulders worth. Exceptional stealthy speed. Could be useful. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Done. Oh yeah. Got maximum now. New quest, Prison of Ice, which is something we can do at the same time as the Remigand quest. Is that it? Vet pick. No, but it's better. Whoops. Oh well. Not an issue, I'd say.
Hey.
Require a proper key. Well, let's keep going. It's like ice dunes. The Fang's Heart. Deathwing. Bone pins pierce the hide map at a handful of locations along the Glenfarthen side of the Bale River. Book of the Hunt. Nope,
Hey.
that's stealing. Deathwing.
Kareth, this is no place for sightseeing, even for you. The beasts of Galawain's Maw are dangerous, and now more than ever.
A wiry elven man paces the cavern, his face etched with worry lines and his hand irritably thumping his hip. He looks up at you and sighs. What's wrong with the beasts?
They won't fight.
He stops pacing and turns to you. And it's Galawain's will that they battle.
This is truth.
He looks at you carefully. The moor has always been home to one great predator. Every so often, a challenger comes along, and the two battle for territory. But Sul remains in her den, and Oanos can't confront her there. Now, two mighty predators and their kin hunt from the same stock. It's thinning the herds, and thinning patience around here too. He resumes his pacing. And this waiting, it's not the deliberate watchful waiting of a hunter lying in ambush. It's stagnation, tedium, hoping for something to happen. He clenches his hands into fists. But I'm powerless to act. One half of the fangs will cry favoritism if I try to drag the line out myself. I received a... Well, no. Let's do it the same way we did Hylea, right? Pretend we know nothing until the last moment. I want to know about the two predators. There's never been a more cunning hunter than Sul, but some say she's losing her edge. Ornos, on the other hand, is all edge, and many a number think he's the rightful successor. His fingers drum a restless rhythm on his thigh. Blood's simmering. It's got to boil over a little. It doesn't spill soon. No, it's got to boil over if a little doesn't spill soon. Would you favour Sul or Ornos? He frowns. I see both sides. Sul's cunning is unmatched, but Ornos is the mightier of the two. Both embody traits prized by Galawain. I received a vision from Galawain about these beasts. Aggressive too, his tired eyes go wide. From the clever hound himself, he looks up and down. If you truly have Galawain's blessing, I won't stand in your way, but I believe he sees a forceful champion in you. He gives you a heavy iron key. We don't normally permit outsiders to venture into the moor, but you understand that you do so at your own risk, and Sul's lions are likely to attack intruders on sight. Still, perhaps you can coax her into fighting the bear. Do whatever you can to end the stalemate. Let's do so.
I'm freshly greased.
All right, then.
Oh. So, there is literally no way to get through this without starting fights. Sorry. It sucks. That's it. You can't even stealth all the way up. They've positioned things perfectly so that you have to get into fights. After several more abductions took place at the Zoshin Lake, Zawa discovered that a previously unknown beast was behind the attacks. A strange ruby-red beetle would grab the locals and feed on their worst memories. The victims would initially fight back, they would quickly enter a blissful state and drop their resistance. Unfortunately, the beetle would eventually devour all of their memories, leaving their minds vacant and broken off from the world. Zawa was able to track the beetle to its nest and kill it. The locals were relieved to hear the beetle had been killed, but dismayed to learn the hatched eggs were discovered in the nest. As a parting gift, the philosopher from the Zoshin mystery created a wand from Zawa from one of the beautiful red reeds that grows along the lake. Spellbind, my son, do you see your sisters across the moor? Summon Will and Wisp. That's pretty cool. I also am going to pretend that Zawa took some of their shells to turn into hallucinogens. Or dissociatives, really. Yeah, and like, here, in Galawain's Moor, they almost explicitly want to have fights. That's what he's about, right? But I wish there were options. Generally, I wish for more options. Like, you can tell that this is Act 3, right? The end of the game, they're running out of dev time, they're running out of solutions. Because... Oh, where does this lead? Old Song District, I guess, just another entrance. That kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Thoughts will be as silent as my
That's
feet.
dev for you. They're running out of ways to make third or fourth options. Is Turins secretly being manipulated by Galawain? Man, that'd be pretty funny. Given his love-hate relationship with Magrin. Everyone wants to fight him when they meet him. Like, and that's a curse. Something Pathfinder 2nd Ed did, I don't think it's their only thing. It's only them, but it is interesting.
Oh, look at here.
Is that they explained... I know, it's still funny. they showed blessings and curses by the divinities. Like, if you are cursed by this divinity, they'll do this. And like, that's cool. And it is a decent question. Would it be Galawain's curse to make people want to fight you whenever you meet? Honestly, that feels like Skane's. Whenever you turn up, like, everyone who meets you feels like you can be controlled.
Hey.
That's a hell of a curse. And very Skane.
That'll do.
As fucked up and as gross as he is. What is this? A thick, snarled tangle of dagger-sharp thorns and vines has grown across this passage. As you look on, the entire wall of vegetation seems to move, almost like it were breathing. Thick coils of vines twist and writhe across the gap with a quiet rustle of foliage. Examine the vines. Through the gaps in the twisting vegetation, you catch glimpses of what appears to be a wide circular chamber. From time to time, you catch sight of tawny hides, and the rustling of the vines is briefly obscured by low growls. Try to sneak through the living wall. You find a brief opportunity as two vines move in opposite directions, clearing a path and carefully move forward. You start off well, moving carefully around and past the web of plants, but halfway through, Slime Shadow steps on a dry, dead branch, and a vine suddenly darts forward with unnatural speed. The vines tighten mercilessly around Slime Shadow's leg, and the ensuing struggle shakes the surrounding vegetation, stirring into a writhing frenzy. Slime Shadow finally tears free and limps out past the edge of the wall. Ooh, hello, sweetie. Good to see you. This startled me. I'll be back in a second, everybody. Meow. He's a soft kitty. G'day. Hammer says bye, stream. Just head to the next chamber. Oh look! We don't have to kill any more lions. Skate is about eating anyone even marginally better off than you. Kind of. Anyone who has power over you. An elven woman intercepts you as you advance into the lair. Behind her is the largest lioness you've ever seen, a sleek beast with fangs as long as carving knives. This woman blocks her path to the lioness, seemingly at ease around the monster. This is Sul's domain, Estremor. She shall not leave it for Oenos or any other challenger. Why does Sul refuse to face Oenos? Oenos is welcome to confront her here, as so many challengers have in the past. What the bear's supporters want is for Sul to leave her lair and fight in the open, where he has an advantage. But why should she? If Sul has an advantage here, it's one she's earned. Would anyone expect to blunt the bear's claws in order to even the odds? The Lord of the Hunt gives unique advantages to each. It's not for us to decide that some of them are worth less than others. The lioness gives a low growl, and Herenzi smiles. Also, Sul has recently given birth to cubs. They're small now, but when they grow, they'll be mightier than either Sul or Oenos. If Sul is killed in combat, that bear will tear her young to shreds. Such is the way of the wild. Her legacy is too valuable to perish this way. If we truly want the mightiest of beasts in the moor, then her cubs must grow to maturity. Scan is a Dan Price. Who's Dan Price again? She has multiple kittens. Yeah, look at all these kitties. And they'll probably end up killing one another too. What are you doing here with Sul? She looks at the lion and something between fondness and admiration. Defending the rightful champion of Galawain's Moor, Oenos' supporters would have her ousted in favor of a bear that isn't strong enough to come and seize his territory on his own. Alright, well, goodbye. That guy. Yeah. I thought that was familiar. Yeah. Tweeting a bunch of anti-capitalist stuff. Yeah, that's true. He's also got a history of being an abusive dick to partners. I don't know if he's gotten better and apologized over time, but apparently not. He goes viral a lot for saying, yeah, self-obsessed psycho, exactly. Yeah. He goes viral a lot for tweeting anti-capitalist things. Like, good, yeah, anti-capitalism is great. But he's also a dick. Explicitly awful. And much like a catty abuser, is like, there is a quick way for me to get on the good side of a lot of people. Yeah, and like you can see this as alright, don't have heroes, but I prefer to see it as this is just an excellent reason to not put all of your faith in individuals, and prefer and stick to your own guns. And the things he's saying, like, you know, billionaires we don't need billionaires. He's not wrong. Absolutely correct. That doesn't change by the fact that he as a person is awful.
Ain't that special?
But it does mean that, like, we don't need to invite him onto round tables. If he's looking for clout by being the enlightened CEO, fuck him. We don't need to give him shit. That's bullshit. Right? But the things he is correct about,
Got it done.
let's take.
That'll do.
And I feel that way about a lot of mostly shitty people. I think there was a terrible Democrat politician that was like, I don't care where a good idea comes from. And that's not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible way of saying it. But also, your political party is doing a great job of doing literally nothing.
Come to see the great Oernos, Estramor? He's back from his hunt. Unlike that lioness, he doesn't stay cooped up in here for long.
The man meets your gaze with a challenge in his eyes. What are you doing here?
We wait for the big confrontation, but the wait grows exhausting, while Sul hides in the back of the maw. Oernos is denied his victory, and we're all denied the champion we deserve.
Why can't Owenus go and fight the lioness?
Because she holes up at the back of the maw, surrounded by her pride and the natural hazards of this place. It's not the proper way to meet a challenger. She's got to come out and face Oernos to keep her claim. Anyway, her prime is past. Putting that old beast down would be a mercy at this point.
Goodbye. Alright. We have a choice now. We straight up need to solve this stalemate. Let's check with Desmond to see if there's a third option.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
Let's actually go, this is Galawain's Maw?
Yes, a den of beasts sacred to the Lord of the Hunt himself. Historically, the greatest predator of Air Glanfath has claimed the back of the maw as its lair. Lately, however, there's been some dispute.
I think this is Liam O'Brien.
That position. And it's leading to discord among our hunters.
Something else? I prefer action to talk, but I'll answer your questions as best I can. Tell me about yourself. I'm the leader of the Fangs. We're an order of hunters and warriors devoted to Galawain, and we see that the places of the builders remain pure. Not truly a tribe, but we do gather and argue like one. Our members all come from all of the tribes, but most of us were born Three-Tusk, Stalgar, Fisher Train, and Keepers of the Stone, naturally. Where would I find Saul? Straight at the back of the moor. He points down the halls on either side of him. You can get through either way, but mind where your feet step. The moor is a dangerous place, and Saul's pride, or advocates, are on alert. Where's Oenos? He points along the hall to the northwest. The bear seems to set up a lair just down that way. He's eaten recently, so he should be placid right now, but no promises. Saul refuses to meet Oenos. Oenos doesn't seem willing to approach Saul either. I was afraid of that. Scratches his chin and frowns. At this point, doesn't matter which beast is champion as long as the issue is settled. I can't take a side, but you've been through the moor. Slay one of the beasts in combat, and the Fangs will accept the other as a champion. It's the way of the moor. Okay, everybody. We need to choose bear or lion. And so much so, I'm actually asking that you don't vote by numbers. I'd like you to vote by saying the word bear or the word lion. The one with the most votes, it will be the champion of them all. Oh, and don't feel like you have to choose the bear, because Jimbles is not only a bear, but chooses bear as totem. Sorry, not totem. As Patronus, essentially. Icon is a good one. Kill both, become champion. Which one you support? Please vote for the one you support. Gollum King says Belian, so he'd like me to kill neither of them, which is essentially ignore Galawain's request, which is not something we can do, but not a lot of point. We've done literally all the hard work now. And we've got 1, 2, 3 votes for lion, so I think we're killing a bear. Kill both, become the champion is not a bad idea either. Let's see how it goes. Ended. Too much waiting. Something's got to happen soon. Oros isn't the rifle champion.
If you stand on the side of that toothless old bag of bones, then you stand in my way.
Fighter, hunter, Dalcorsi, paladin. Paladini. Try me, bitch. Whoops. Learn. Generally, I'd be like, yes, absolutely. They can't be champion because we're beating them up. There are also 6 of us. And again, the bear had friends too.
I wish you know her. My mind feels sharp as steel.
Oh well. Sorry, Bear Bros. I believe I sided with you last time. Simply because bear. So, while we're here, just at least go talk to the lion. Kill the lion, take all their shit. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, right?
Ain't that special?
But we don't do an extra killing. Yeah, well, we'll see. Erency, I may be patient, but Saul isn't. Unless you have news about the bear's demise, you best keep your distance, lest you find yourself here during dinner time. Ooh, we could also kill the lioness. Comrade votes for 3. I call for everyone in the chat who wishes to vote right now to vote. Do we also call out Saul? Do it. This is exactly what Galawain wants as well. I think it's particularly funny that we do this and we have shafted another god by not strictly abiding by what makes like the most sense, the most obvious thing they want us to do. Hylea is like, there's a dragon in my temple, deal with it. We're like, we dealt with it by telling your worshippers to set up a new temple. And now in Galawain's Maw, he's like, there's a stalemate, these predators won't attack. Or they won't attack each other, okay? It's really annoying. And we go, okay, we have killed both of the people who are in a stalemate because your will says that things should attack one another. So that's what we're doing. We have 2 votes for 1 and 2 votes for 3, and unless Golem King or Dead Man wants to jump in and throw in a vote, I'm going to tiebreak. Dead Man! Oh, very good indeed. I do know exactly how useful the votes will be. Well, we're coming up to our usual quitting time, so I'm going to go and tiebreak, and Sol isn't a rifle champion. Her hand strays to a hatchet at her side. You would side with the bear too? Choose your next words with care. Druid, Bleak Walkers, Hunter, Ranger. I'll put an end to you and Saul both. Oh shit, yeah, turn the difficulty up, we actually have to do things. Hello. Like, not to be a massive jerk, but this is, to me, feels like I'm agreeing with Mako, and I like that. The divinities have sent us to go solve a problem, and we're like, you're not talking clearly, you're not making sense, you told us to use our own, judgment by being vague about it. So you know what we did? We're gonna deal with the problems. the way we want to. Also, +2 might, +2 resolve. That's amazing.
Hey.
Galawain wants fights. We did fights. Yeah, Galawain probably won't be pissed, is how I'm feeling. Tufts of 20 fur and crushed grasses carpet a small hollow in the back of the cabin. I don't think Galawain will be pissed. I think it's a good solution to their problems. Also, remember, the Fangs are also partially responsible for a lot of the other annoying things that were going on. Finally, we gained reputation with the Fangs for killing that lion.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
I've dealt with the situation between Saul and Ornos. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect both beasts to die. Still, I suppose there's logic in making room for new blood. If neither was willing to confront the other, then perhaps neither was worthy. Now that both Saul and Ornos are gone, I expect another beast will seek them more soon. It'll be good to see what Galawain sends. Take this with our thanks. He seemed to suddenly remember something. You might visit Tyr Everon to pray to the Lord of the Hunt. He sometimes grants special favours for those who prove themselves. Well, maybe Laxi is right and this backfired, and my smarmy sort of I'll solve the problems my way is turning out to be completely pointless. Or I'm amazing and it's going to turn out perfectly. Wilting Wind. Massive AoE damage. Extra shock damage. Corrode, freeze. Let's give him extra shock damage. I'll have Chain Lightning. I think it's a ridiculous spell. One of my favourites. Either you do what he wants, or we do what he wants. Yeah, so like his solution was solve the stalemate. It's what he wanted, right? But we also solved... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, God of the Hunt got us good here. We'll see. We get to go have a brief chat with Galawain when we go back, right? What's more fun? Certainly stabbing him. So just a quick refresher. This is done. This is still going. Druids of Golden Grove says that this is to Elmshore. We need to go to Elmshore to complete that one. And then do Noonfrost, which is there. We're nearly done. And then talk to Hylea. So we made quite a lot of progress tonight. Certainly did. Why not the world based on violence? Yeah, because it's a CRPG. Nearly all of them are. Leveling up, right? It's slightly like less dependent on violence because we don't need to explicitly kill things to get experience and get it from learning them about the bestiary. You can't grind monsters. Anyway, well, good session. I appreciated that. I think we had a really good night, and I really enjoyed you all being there to join us through this experience. So let's have a good time. Now, next week, this Wednesday, we are off. We are not having Final Fantasy. We will skip a session. I suggest you either play a game you really enjoy, or watch another streamer you like. They certainly enjoy your attention too. And find someone who's also friendly and calm and willing to burn down capitalism to improve the lives of everybody. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again next Wednesday, and you can always yell at me on Twitter or continue this chat via direct message on Twitch, or just here in the chat, really. I think you can keep talking when I'm not live. Otherwise, I'll catch you later. Good night, everybody.